All right. Good evening, everyone. We are back. Another back-to-back doubleheader weekend, plural. This time we're at Circuit De Navarra. I am Fenacini, bringing you the on-track action alongside Logan with me this week. Phil is decided to take his 1 week allowed PTO to go do fun, far cooler things than hang out with us in the booth. So I will be. He is, I believe, will pop in at some point. We wish him well. Hope he's having a fantastic amount of time off. He is well deserved. We talk about Mark Coyne being the hardest man working in sim racing, but I think a close second, if not on the same pedestal, would be Phil Millway. So, Logan, last time we were here, we were with Track Limits. We went to Road America for a special event, and I would say
Correct.
That was a pretty wild one, right?
Oh, man, it was full of all sorts of action throughout the entire race. I mean, we had people getting into each other. We had off tracks. We had rejoins. We had everything.
So, a fantastic amount of time now. We see the closing stages of practice as we're about to get underway for qualifying here in just a few minutes' time. Yeah, the action at Road America was something else. We have still a very busy grid here at Circuit De Navarra. 34 cars currently sitting around in some state of readiness on the track or in the pit lane. A fantastic group of cars, I think, from all sorts of driving. Real quick, let's see if we can get this done prior to the start of qualifying. We're going to run through our championship standings. And let's see if I can hit the buttons right to get them to do that. This Retro Coffin pulls off to the side, kicking it off with the LMP3 category with the points from last week at Road America. Jaden Ledbetter leading the field, 173 points to Scott Fleming's 163 in second place. Mark Coyne rounding out the trio on the podium with 152. Vincent LaRue not far behind with 132. And Michael Lively rounding out the top five with 131. A tight on-track battle, I think, for tonight. Or I would say it would be on for tonight. I don't think I've seen Vincent on the racetrack this week because I think he's unfortunately busy. We're out of town. So I would say a battle there for fourth, up for grabs. I think Vincent has missed less weeks. They both missed 1 week, so that would be 4 points at the end of the day because of the drop rounds, which will be applied, I believe, after this week. Which I think will be pretty fantastic. Jack Wilkins, Gian Cardoso, Mike Bowen, Paul Milo, Chris Turner, and I believe I have one more here. Let me hit the button to make sure he doesn't get forgotten. That's going to be, maybe? Nope, that's the wrong button. Hold on. Brandon, I have two more, sorry. And I got a whole bunch more. What am I doing? All right. Well, hit the button. I thought we had like one more. No, we have 5 more. Brandon Vincent Squibb, Adam J. Duff, Benjamin O'Shea, Christian Julian, and Matt Hugh. A bunch of new drivers. I've seen a good handful of them back tonight with us. I think it'll turn out to be pretty fantastic. Jumping from the LMP3 to the next fastest category, which is, not usually a very large margin. I think tonight we're sitting on just a few tenths between our slowest GT3 or fastest GT3 and our slowest LMP3. But Logan, how are those GT3 championship points looking for those drivers?
And first, we have Retro Coffin with 169 points, and Tommy Kogan is in second with 164. Ethan Hamlet with 1 week missed with 151. Sean Sullivan. Kyle Porter, who has a quality ban for tonight because of license points. Brandon Potts in 6th. Kerry Nolan Jr. in 7th. Tony Newman in 8th. Bruno Clemente in 9th with 99 points. Oh, I forgot Gab. Gab should be in there.
Chavez.
He is in 4th, with 144 points. Bruno Clemente is in 10th. Nick Alvarado is in 11th. Austin Green, Anthony Hutchison, and 2 new drivers. That is it on those.
I believe so, yeah. We got a couple new drivers. There's the rest of the
Steve
points
McLean and Joey Militi.
Yeah, Melody. We'll see. I think we saw at least one of them out here tonight. Maybe both of them also are joining us from their respective spots. GT4 Pro has a couple newcomers as well, but to kick it off, Tanner Schiffner rounding out being the lead podium there. I think we also see him on track there. Perfect timing. Tyler Tourville leading not far behind, just 8 points in with 185 to Tanner Schiffner's 193. Lee Wu with 149. And Henry Garcia trying to get back onto the podium with 137. Matt Powell rounding out the top 5, 107. Pretty big jump there. We see some more on-track action between GT3s and GT4s as they're getting through the final closing minutes of qualifying. Nathaniel Redmond, Stephen Wallace, David Coulson, Ryan Buchanan, and Corey Lobner are the top 10 here. We have we still have 4 more. I was correct this time. Dan Witzak, Mac Gallant, Tyler Roberts, and Kieran Davidson are your 14 drivers for GT4 Pro that currently have points on the board. And last, but certainly not least, Logan, GT4M.
All right, we got Christopher Blue leading the points with 131. Eduardo Zamora. Wow, I can't talk tonight, with 121. William Lewis with a little bit of a gap there to P2 with 108. Jameson Leckaby with 100 points. John Newman, Todd Torville, Oscar Brown's in 7th. David Schneider is in 8th. Mark Robeson is in 9th. Rodrigo Souza is in 10th. Dave Lively is in 11th. And Carlos Guzman in 12th with 24 points.
Heck yeah. And those are all of the current championship standings. It's lovely to see Doc Milley doing great as well. We are watching, well, we aren't watching, but the current drivers have all piled into the drivers briefing room on the track. So we're watching the last couple drivers kind of wrap up qualifying here, not qualifying, wrap up his practice. We'll go into qualifying here in a moment. Big battles you're looking forward to tonight, Logan. Do you have any off the top of your head between all these drivers as they're getting ready to go and get set for qualifying?
Well, we're probably going to see Kyle Potter and Retro Coffin around each other like we have all season long. There's probably also going to be some good fighting between Tyler Torville and Henry Garcia. They have been together all season long. And the top 4 of the LMP 3 points have been within arm's length of each other the entire season.
I would love to know. I'm trying to think of who we have here on track. We do have a good number of folks utilizing this as one of their drop rounds. Circuit De Navarra is it's one of my favorite underrated tracks.
So technical.
It's so technical, but it's so much fun, especially in machinery like this. Like you get into the faster cars, not even GT3, sorry, LMP2s and GTPs. You'll see a lot of them have a very different. It's a little almost too fast for it. So it's like one of my favorite tracks for especially this type of machinery that we're seeing tonight, but also like Super Formula Lights, F4s, the like kind of learning, I'd say learning in quotation marks, or learner machinery that then feeds the bigger series often seems to be like the butter zone of like race speed to like being able to use the technicality, but not also being so punished if you get something wrong that you can't recover from it,
Mm-hmm.
So I think
they're really fun track for the high-speed cars. I have taken the Super Formula Light around here, and it is absolutely fun to drive around here.
Gotcha. I don't see Vincent. I mentioned that already. I also want to add in, I don't see Ethan, who is, I believe, also out tonight, our current, we would say, resident alien of the track. So Tommy Kogan, I believe, as well as Retro Coffin are going to be duking it out for that top position a little bit further in the GT3 category. I think that'll be one to watch. I think just as much as the one between Retro Coffin and Kyle Potter, especially with Kyle Potter having that quali ban.
Yeah.
I think it'll be interesting to see where everyone shakes out at the end of qualifying, to which we kind of see some on track, some nice static shots of the track as we're awaiting the end of the driver's briefing to get underway with qualifying. And I believe I remember correctly, and it's been a week, so apparently in less than 7 days, I've forgotten the order of this. I believe GT4s start with this, right? Have I lost my mind in the past?
GT4s quali first, and then
Marvelous.
GT3s and LMP3s will bring up the rear.
Yes. So slowest to fastest classes for those of you who have just joined us for the first time this evening and have no idea what's going on. Let's go over the race info once again. We'll see for those of you who are new to the broadcast and want to get a feeling for what track limits racing entails. Multi-class LMP3, GT3, and GT4M Pro and AM classes. 4 classes of cars in terms of, or 4 classes of drivers, 3 classes of cars. 20-minute heat, and that isn't quite correct because it was 120 minutes last week for our special event, our mid-season special event at Road America. It is usually 90 minutes of feature racing here, and for most of the remainder of the season, with I think the only other exception being Barber Motorsports Park at the end of the season.
Right. 19 degrees on the track temperature right now, so that is pretty chilly for track limits. Not gonna lie.
I'd say
and strong wind though. It's 22 mile kph.
Strong wind, cold track, partly cloudy. We are at sunrise, I believe. And I think it'll make for at least an easy track to drive, so they aren't sliding around too much as that heats up and the tires kind of turn into paste. They won't go too far all over the place.
Right.
Yeah. Limited fuel as well. I'm trying to remember the last of the things here. 50% for both the GT3s and LMP3s, and GT4s have 45%. What that means for us is usually no fuel stops in the sprint racing, but usually 1 to 2, potentially 3 stops, depending on the length of the race. Usually for 90 minutes, I think it's usually 2 stops for everybody, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
We did have some pretty gnarly one-stop fuel save strategies going on last season. Unfortunately, that is not a part of what we've gotten in store this season. I think for the better. I think it makes it a little bit more of a fair fight, and where we're not watching cars slow down a fair bit just to squeeze out the one stop, though it is a cool strategy to see sometimes.
Right.
So I think we've ridden on board with most of the types of cars here. Once we see these cars start to kind of filter out onto track here, we'll ride along. And Logan, if you're feeling up to it, I'll have you do a lap around Navarra and talk us through what that feels like in a GT4 machine. I have not driven this in a GT4. I've driven this in LMP3 last season. Sorry, I have driven this in a GT4. I take that back. The last race I did with track limits before jumping into the broadcasting booth was in a GT4 here at Navarra. So I do know what we're talking about. I will still, however, lean on somebody who drives GT4s far more often than I do, which is one Logan Branson I'm sharing the booth with.
Yep.
Man, I've apparently just lost my mind. I went racing for 6 hours, not me specifically 6 hours, but I did an endurance race in iRacing officials, and apparently that just means I've lost my mind. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I don't have Phil inadvertently anchors the broadcast. Depending on who's in the broadcasting booth, it's either I'm anchoring it or Phil's anchoring it. And now that we're missing one of the two, it's all gone to chaos.
No problem. Have we rode in a Aston Martin yet this season?
I was just thinking, I don't think we have. And I see a specific driver. Yeah, I would say Corey Lobner is sitting in pit waiting for the end of the driver's briefing. And I think when he gets out on track, I think it'd be cool to ride along in an Aston Martin.
Yeah.
Corey Lobner.
Absolutely. I'm thinking about doing that next season in this car.
Oh, fantastic. You're thinking about getting into the Aston Martin?
I'm thinking either that or the McLaren because we need more of those.
We do need more of either of those. I'd love to see what new GT4s we get in iRacing over the next year because I feel like there's so many.
Oh, that's right. There's one coming out next season.
I did win today, Turner. Thank you for asking, Chris. He was in my split with me. He started P2 right behind us. We were pole to flag. It was a little bit one of the back markers who was just on their first driver was on a flyer, had a 10-second gap ahead of us before they got taken out by a back marker. So yeah, I went back and looked because I was like, what happened? I heard you needed repairs. Yeah, I could not tell what that was. So For those of you on the broadcast, I was racing alongside Chris Turner in the New World Sim Racing. Love is Love, I think, was the name of that one.
Nice.
Congrats. Thank you. Yeah,
That's
it was
an
such
awesome name.
BS. Yeah. For sure. Yeah, Blake anchored it. He did the first two, and then the final, like, 1 point something, and just ripped the whole way. He was so fast. But enough of talking about my racing. Let's talk about this racing. Corey Lobner on his outlap when he comes back around to the start, finish straight. I will put us in the car, and I'll have you talk us through it.
Heard.
So, dude, Corey Lobner's got a great livery this season. It's super simple, but it's super fantastic as a best. I kind of thought about it after a moment, and Blake was like, I'm like, it'll be all right. We'll get through it. All good, Chris. Let's see. Corey Lobner warming up those tires. I believe I saw lap times. I'm going to feel like I've entirely off, so I'm just going to let quali happen and not try to give bad timing for things that aren't what I'm doing here. Jeez.
Sorry, I'm trying to get my turn numbers up on my map, and I don't have it.
Ooh.
Okay.
Well, Wikipedia of this track is always my go-to.
Heard.
Because they always seem to have at least a track map. So.
Oh, we're coming through the last turn. Yep.
Last turn. On to the start-finish straight. Take us through, Logan.
All right, coming through the start-finish line, we are going up to... Oh, my God, I can't. Okay, that's not working for me. Coming up to turn 1. Just a little bit of a lift. Going through, and then breaks into 2 and 3, I'm assuming.
Yep. 2 and 3.
Ride it out and flat out till you hit the gentle right, and little right of the brakes through that. All right, gentle left.
Yeah, that left is super awkward because it's like a tightening left, right?
Yeah, and then hard on into the next complex of turns. Flat out through here, and then braking going into the hard right.
90-degree turn onto one of the few straights.
So here, at least in the Merc, I'd start braking about 100.
I'd say it's just a little bit later than
down.
Corey did it, but
yeah,
you were right on the money there pretty much.
Flat out. Now this is the turn that always gets me because I usually cut this corner or drift out too far before I cut it back to the second left-hander here. Corey did pretty good with that.
Yeah, it's
Break about the pit lane entrance.
Mm-hmm.
What was that?
Oh no, I was saying it's usually one that catches people out because it's depending on how much downforce you have does change the radius as well as where you actually turn in for that corner, if I remember correctly.
Right. Last turn is another difficult one, but he seemed to have got it pretty good.
Yeah, and
straight on to morning.
Straight on to the start-finish line, coming through, setting himself up in P7 with that 146.25. Tanner Schiffner topping the timing charts in GT4 Pro with the 145.37, excuse me, if I get a little more technical. And William Lewis topping the timing charts in 4th overall of GT4 AM, a 145.593. So, you saw a little wiggle there out of Corey Lobner as he went down the backstretch. I get the feeling he understood that he was going to be on the broadcast here. I got that feeling, at least. I may not be 100% on it, but I believe that's what that was.
You are watching, Corey. Hello.
Yes, we are watching.
Oh, he's not.
I'm looking at a couple other things. We're following along with a few drivers setting very quick laps. William Lewis setting purple sectors of sectors 1, sectors 3. You see him right in front of Henry Garcia there, who's also I believe improving his time pretty significantly. Nathaniel Redmond topping the timing charts there with that 1:44.78. But see, Tanner Schiffner improves green in all of his own sectors up to second. 0.3 behind Tanner Schiffner. Henry Garcia improves as well, but doesn't move himself up any higher than fourth, where he currently is. Fuji next, though, August 9th. Let's see here. Who else? Mike Gallant setting in time in. The David Schneider also on his first flyer, I believe. Yeah. Jameson Leckenby coming in second after a purple final sector. Half a second, though, slower than William Lewis. William Lewis really getting this car and this track combination down pretty well for GT4 AM. Love to see it.
I do not remember the times I ran here, but these guys seem to be getting it down pretty well.
I would say I think I got into the 145s by the end of the feature race in the Mercedes GT4, but I definitely think I would have been pretty squarely amongst the AM class. I think that's where I ended up for that one. For that one race I came back for before I decided racing GT4s, nah, I feel like talking about them for hours on end. Let's see who else is improving. William Lewis once again setting a purple first sector, purple final sector for Nathaniel Redmond, but the rest of the lap a little bit slower than his final corners, so he does not improve. Tyler Tourville splitting the difference between Tanner Schiffner and Nathaniel Redmond to take seconds. Honestly, Turner, you saved us a lot of 0x's. It's very true. It's very possible. So
Schneider with a tight end doesn't seem like it registered.
Mm-hmm. Jameson Leckenby. We've gotten this name right 3 times tonight. We'll see if it keeps going. Because we apparently thought it was Leckenbecky. I don't understand why. But it's Leckenby. And he's currently in second, half a second behind William Lewis, improving his time from the last one to cut that time down a little bit, to keep it back even down to 0.4 instead of half a second. Eduardo Zamora getting that great time in with a 1:46.53. Still 0.2. Or your number is 888, apparently. That is very true. The rest of them finishing up their lap times, and we'll probably see GT3s heading out in just a couple minutes' time. We've got 10 minutes on the clock for each qualifying, a total time of 40 minutes. Nathaniel Redmond just keeping improving that pace up to a 1:44.76.
It's 30 minutes on qualifying because of each class getting 10 minutes. GT4 and GT4 Pro, AM and Pro are both on the track at the same time.
Yes. We have a total of 40 minutes on the qualifying clock, but it is 30 minutes split into 10s. You're good.
Whoops, my bad.
You're okay. We said the same thing with different words. So they all drive in to pit lane, finishing up their qualifying times. Christopher Blue, I think, is unfortunately going to be hanging out behind David Schneider for this last couple laps.
Getting that slipstream.
Mm-hmm. We'll see Jameson come across the line. 3 improvements. Keeps whittling away at that gap. A orange third sector. Keeping that time pretty squarely as a 1:46. But down to 1:46.0 instead of a 1:46 or 1:45, I suppose. That's where I was trying to go with that.
Last time we were here, I spent the entire race with Blue and John Newman.
Ah, very good.
I was around them the entire race.
I was probably a little ways behind all y'all, if I remember correctly.
GT3s are on the track.
They are indeed finishing up their out lap. Give me your bumpers. We've done a BMW. We haven't done a Lamborghini, I don't feel like. So we'll see when they come back around to the start-finish line here. Right on along board.
Lamborghini, that's a choice.
Lamborghini.
That's a new one.
I would say we've seen Stephen McLean, I think, take this out at Road America. I would say at Road America, but it may not be the case. Maybe why I'm saying.
I don't think he was in that last.
Ah.
I think this is a new one. This is the first time I've seen a Lamborghini in our races.
Oh, wow. We have a new make and model of GT3. Steve McLean in the Lamborghini. I don't think we have any
Manufacturer points. Yeah, there hasn't been one
I'd say no
Lambo
no
yet.
Lamborghinis,
Yeah.
and I don't think we have any Audis as well. Chat was asking if we got any Audis. I don't think we do. At least not tonight. So coming towards, there's also so many nice, tight, like acute angle corners. I think Corey Lobner's stream is involves talking about we heard you like acute angles. So he's coming out of that final corner onto the start-finish straight in a GT3, largely the same as the GT4. Little bit of a lift to get that rotation in, hard under the brakes into turn number 2. Into turn number 3, you just keep riding the brakes and eventually trail brake into that higher pin in turn number 4 as you get hard back onto the throttle, and you're going to keep running that down into turn number 5 and 6, which is a little bit of an awkward one. You know, you kind of just feather the throttle and brake to kind of get the rotation going, and eventually then get onto the brakes as that corner finally tightens, which is technically corner number 6. 7, it's going to be an opening corner right here, back again, flat out until turn number 8. 90-degree right-hander, and you just hope you want to nail that apex and then be on the throttle, so that way you have the ability to keep that car moving in the right direction, back onto the brakes at that 100 board, like Logan said, because really these both have about the same stopping distance, depending on the car and depending on how warm the tires are. And he seemed to have gotten that corner correctly, that very awkward back half of the lap where it just doesn't want to fully turn in correctly. Either you hit that curb or you just run out a little too wide, or both. So turn number 15 is what you've just gone through. 17 corners on this track. A nice flat out one for turn number 16. And then back onto the brakes, kind of when you see that red and white wall go by just before the curbing.
Oh, he's purple in all sectors.
He is in purple in all of the sectors, all 4 of them, and he's apparently listed as an LMP3 driver. So let's find out.
He was in LMP3s last week. I just switched him over to.
Just switched over. That's why that's like that. Because I was like, I swear I got everybody sorted out correctly. The answer is I had until now. So we'll put him in the right class. That's why he's purple in all the sectors, because he's the only LMP3 currently driving, according to this. So let's bump him over to GT3 where he belongs.
Yep, Bruno Clemente with a 138.57.
Nice. Fantastic.
And half a second behind him is Tommy Kogan.
Yeah.
With a 39.194.
Yeah, we'll see Retro Coffin on a flyer. 2 purple sectors prior to where he's at on the track. Currently sitting 3rd with his first qualifying attempt. And we'll see how much faster he goes. Green in the 3rd sector. And coming around the last couple corners to see if he can put himself even faster yet. Stephen McLean getting a purple 3rd sector. So we know where that Lamborghini is fastest. And coming around the start-finish stretch, a orange last sector, but
Ooh,
a fastest enough overall to take the top of the leaderboard. Our GT3 drivers have a pretty spread out grid. But I imagine as they keep improving, we see Austin Green jumping up the order to 4th. Anthony Newman setting a fantastic time there with 139.8. Kerry Nolan also improving his time. Tommy Kogan coming back around to see if he can get any faster as well. We're going to see these times start to bunch up. Oh, Retro Coffin flyer gets that spin in. And that is going to be the end of that qualifying run. Bruno Clemente hot on his heels, trying to get faster as well. Brennan Potts setting a pretty respectable 141 to start. We'll see how much faster he can get. I can't recall if I've asked. Do you like GT3s or GT4s more?
Me, I like GT4s more. I feel more connected to them. They're more fun to drive, in my opinion.
Very fair. I think I'm in the same boat. Because I think if I like the speed of the GT3, I'll drive a prototype. Whereas GT4s, I feel like are the fun, right amount of fun for a road car that I could take onto a track.
Right. Oh,
there's no more Mustang in GT4.
McLean just what rear end? Around. Oh,
almost runs into
join.
Anthony Newman. I almost said Austin Green.
They have the same paint job, just minor differences on them.
Yeah.
Anthony Newman has black pillars, and Green has green pillars.
Got it.
For the A pillar.
Gotcha. I'm following that now. They also have different technical grills, I think, are the big difference there.
Yeah.
When Austin Green being green, and then Anthony Newman being white. There's no Mustang in GT4, which makes GT3 better. Green has a green nose.
Oh, there's no Mustang in GT4 yet. So I'm convinced that iRacing is going to be releasing the Mustang next season.
I would have to imagine. I would say it's either next season or the first season of 2026. You follow the iRacing Reddit, people that analyze all the pictures they post from real life, and they go, "This is the back seat of the Mustang that they were taking the audio from." That they just, and it's like, cool. Yeah, most of the GT4s are super outdated. I really wish we had.
Right.
Hey there, broadcast crew. Keep up the good job. We will certainly try. Thank you for the well wishes. So.
Yeah, I agree, Jay. We do need the Cayman Evo and the Mustang. Supra's getting taken out next time. I think. I don't know.
I don't know. The Supra still gets utilized pretty extensively, especially in Europe.
Fair.
So I don't know why they wouldn't, but I think they're gonna also only work on so many things, and if they're gonna work on GT3s as well, which seems to be their big push right now, it's only so much they can do. Here's hoping. I would love a Cayman Evo, is my best one. Bring back the Camaro GT4.
Oh, good lord.
God.
Come on, Jay.
Retro Coffin, meanwhile, as we've been talking about GT3s and GT4s, setting the fastest lap of the 138.0.
Nice.
0.1. 1,000th above a 38. Half a second faster than Bruno Clemente. I think I saw earlier in the chat the Porsche corner exit is going to be huge. I think it's showing that to be true with Retro Coffin.
Yeah. I mean, the top two GT3s.
Setting purple sectors here. He's still going faster. He's not fast enough.
The top two GT3s are Porsches, and the top GT4 AM is a Porsche. So it's going to be a Porsche-heavy lineup for the winners, I feel.
I get that feeling as well. We'll have to see how consistent they are over the course of the sprint and feature races.
See how my fellow Porsche boys do.
So you were a big Porsche fan in the GT.
I'm
Force
getting there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I am absolutely getting there. You got to abuse that car to get it to turn right.
I feel like
it's fun.
Nah, the Maserati, whatever it was that didn't have TC or ABS. Dude. Yeah, the Maserati GT4 was something different. That was like a Porsche Cup car, but a GT4 spec. Well, not as fast as I was last week, but I'll take a P7 quality. Dude, Orange Slice 341, Corey Lobner.
That is,
A pretty fantastic run, all the same. Speaking of pretty fantastic runs, another half a second for Retro Coffin as he lines up that car perfectly. I believe we have outlaps for a good portion of our LMP3 field as they finish up these final laps here. Stephen McLean getting P2 right at the end there.
Tommy Kogan just unseated him.
Yeah.
Unseated him. Still half a second to Retro Coffin.
Yeah, still half a second. It is going to be a hectic one. Thank you for the well wishes, Corey. And good luck as well to you. We'll probably be trying to see where the chaos takes us. Probably where we'll end up. As we watch a few of these drivers get through their outlaps. Who's closest on track? Let's go open up the track map, which will also be a good check to see if we have a track map that is actually functioning. Apparently, if you don't set a lap time, you don't get to be put on the track map. That's interesting. All right. Well, they're out there somewhere, but the track map says they're not out there, so no longer helpful to me. We'll hang out with Gian Cardoso. We'll see how he gets a lap done here. Are you familiar with the LMP3 lap at Navarra?
I am not.
Okay. Then I will lead us through as well with the LMP3 lap. It's shocking no one. It's pretty similar to the GT3s and LMP3 or GT4s. It's just a little different. It's almost like it's a prototype, which means it's not really a Formula car, but it's also not quite a GT3 or GT tin top. But in a similar fashion, you step on the lap pedal when you're coming out of that final corner to start out a lap. We're right on board with Gian Cardoso, who has had a rather fantastic, almost sleeper of a season. And unlike GT3, GT4, you're just on that pedal all the way up until turn 2. You get on the brakes here a little bit. You kind of get on the brakes even more into turn number 3 to get that rotation done. And then you're just powering through all of this. No lift here for the LMP3s. And again, this awkward corner, turn number 5, catches even the best LMP3 drivers out. We saw it last couple seasons ago with Ethan Hamlet. I think having a very similar spin to a couple times we'll see tonight. And you're on the throttle up until turn number 8. And you are then flat out from there until the end of turn number 9. You get on the brakes a little bit later than you do on the GT machinery, kind of right past the 100 board, in between it and the 50 board. And then you're back on the throttle after you get that rotation done. And unlike the GT3s and GT4s, you are braking very little here, just enough to get that rotation in. And then even less so here, it's just like a lift. And then you get through that corner. And then you are going the right. Oh, that is a car going the wrong direction. I believe that's going to be Adam Duff.
That is Adam Duff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lots of troublemaking here in the LMP3. Yep, that is the name of the game. Scott Fleming topping the timing tower here. Michael Lively setting P2. Retro Coughing saying his fastest lap was a fluke. Sure, Retro Coughing. We absolutely believe you. Coming out of that final corner, you brake not too far. Again, braking markers a little bit further forward for the LMP3s versus the GT3s and GT4s.
Ooh.
But otherwise, a lot of the same stuff.
Gian Cardoso's at the top of the list.
We ran on board with him. Mark Coyne getting ahead of Jaden Ledbetter and Scott Fleming, who set those early initial times.
Ooh. Benjamin O'Shea's around.
Oh, poor. We got Benjamin O'Shea, Adam J. Duff, Drew Geyer, all on track as well. Drew is dealing with maybe some internet issues. Let's see.
A few people are tonight.
Well, the weather out here, pretty crazy.
Yeah, I am down in my dark basement, so I can't see out the Ohio windows at the rain going through, but what I understand is pretty nasty on the west end of central Ohio.
It is, I think, nasty pretty much throughout central Ohio at this point. We had a major amount of lightning. I lost power like 5 minutes after getting out of the car for my stints in the 6 hour.
For real?
Yeah, like it was like, I would say almost 5 minutes exactly. No, I got out of the car. I was like sitting there spotting for Blake, who was finishing up, and then I heard the pop of my battery backup switching on for
Oof.
my sim rig, and then it just flickered, and then it came back.
Oh,
Scott Fleming
man.
taking the top of the timing tower away from Mark Coyne. Mark Coyne and Michael Lively setting almost identical times, about 5 thousandths separate those two drivers. Gian Cardoso not far behind either, another 4 hundredths. Or excuse me, I have that right? Yeah, I have that right. Plus 3. Why are they both labeled as plus? What? Okay. Now we'll leave that be for the time being. And Jaden Ledbetter also setting a time. Benjamin O'Shea, one of the handful of drivers, still yet to put a lap time in. Currently setting a 142.6, but that is not a clean lap. So we'll see when he comes back around if he gets a lap in. Scott Fleming coming around the final corner now. 2 purple sectors, 1 green sector. Looking to beat a 135.794. Mark
As
Coyne
usual, the LMP3s, the top 5, are within half a second of each other. Oh, O'Shea got a lap in.
O'Shea got a lap in. Scott Fleming resetting that lap time and the speed looking for the speed to beat. The 135.45. A whole half a second faster than Michael Lively, who improved his time up another couple tenths to be ahead of Mark Coyne. Mark Coyne is going to be Chris Turner's dark horse of the day. He gets another faster time in, try to rein back in Scott Fleming and Scott Fleming's time. Gian Cardoso resetting his own best time. And it is going to be, I would say, a very tight grid at the front end of the LMP3 field for at least the sprint, as if not more in most of the race here. Benjamin O'Shea, we'll see how he does. He's come back around to green in the middle 2 sectors. I feel like he was a little out of place versus where the racing line usually takes that car throughout the last corner there. We'll see how that impacts his time. He's currently sitting on a 142.6. I think it's going to be a big improvement there. 137.9. It does plead him in striking range. Yeah, fantastic stuff for Benjamin O'Shea in striking distance with Jaden Ledbetter, who has set a 136.29 as his fastest here.
Drew Geyer has a lap in.
I feel like
139.1.
Yeah. Not bad at all for an initial lap. We'll see if he can improve there. Seems to be blinking a fair bit from time to time. I love that Sakura Blossom, or Cherry Blossom, excuse me, not Sakura.
It's a really nice paint job.
A fantastic paint job. But does not, his internet, at least, or my internet doesn't seem to be liking where his car is placed.
He is blinking in and out of my screen as well.
It is not just me then. Mark Coyne pulling it over to the side after getting a 135.27. Only a tenth and some change behind Scott Fleming. Gian Cardoso, 3 tenths behind. Man, it is going to be a tight grid. Let's go Cynthia Lively. Michael Lively, I think.
Hi, D. Hi, Gab.
Gab Chavez, unfortunately not with us tonight. We wish him well as well. And hopefully we'll see him soon back on the grid for another fantastic race. For those of you who are just joining us for the first time and want to see what this is all about, and you are not one of the fantastic many drivers that we have on this very, very talented and just large grid, check us out. Track Limits Racing, I believe technically still on SimGrid, but you can also find our Discord pretty much in a good number of places. We have the command here, if I remember correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong, Logan. Command there for the Discord that'll take you. You can join up and at least join the waiting list. I think we have a couple spots open in GT4, I believe. Don't quote me on that. What's up?
Oh, no. Few spots opening on GT4s, which means people are leaving GT4s. I don't like that.
Well, people get busy, and we obviously want to have people who can race. Not that we don't enjoy the people that are able to make it, but, you know, life gets in the way a lot of times. It's like when you're on doing any sort of tabletop RPG, It is sometimes very hard to find the time that makes sense.
Fair.
2 to 5 is tight. It's going to be interesting. It is going to be interesting. P2 to P5 is a pretty small margin. Only a few tenths.
We saw Duff hitting the wall in the pit coming in.
Oh. Scott Fleming. I'm trying to see how much faster he can get this car to go. He's gotten it down to 134.88. He's trying to see how fast he can go in this thing. And see if he can grip roll it. Jaden Ledbetter obviously doubting Retro Coffin's okay, that was a fluke line. So much like us here in the broadcast booth, Jaden also doesn't believe that it was a fluke. So let's see. With just a few minutes left to qualifying, Scott Fleming, no improvement there on that lap time with a 135.57, sets that car down, calls it a day. Gian Cardoso, not an improvement either on any of his earlier sectors. I think he might be bringing that car in to call it a qualifying as well. And he jumps into the pit lane there. Good thing to practice pit entry. It's a little awkward here. I don't think this is a good camera to show from. If I got the, yeah, there you go. It is a really tight hairpin in the end of that. So qualifying comes to a conclusion. And in a moment here, we'll pull up the grid. We'll talk ourselves. Yep, there we go. English. It's a word. It's a language. It's a language made of words. Scott Fleming leads off the timing tower in P1 alongside Michael Lively for that front row. In row number 2, Mark Coyne alongside Jaden Ledbetter, Gian Cardoso alongside Benjamin O'Shea to round out your 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Adam Juff and Drew Gear.
Adam J. Duff and Drew Gear are also there, but they are a little ways down the order, so we'll see them in just a moment. Retro Coffin leading off GT3 alongside Tommy Kogan. Yeah, Chris, I think Logan just made me abreast of that. That was too far. All right, we got Retro Coffin, we got Tommy Kogan. In row number 5 is going to be Stephen McLean, probably alongside, I'm going to say Austin Green. Bruno Clemente alongside Anthony, will probably eventually become Anthony Newman, as probably Drew Grier and Adam J. Duff will make that the 4th and final row of the LMP3s. Alongside behind both of them, Kerry Nolan alongside Brandon Potts. And then we get into the GT4s. Logan, you want to take those away?
We have Nathaniel Redmond in first, Tyler Torville in second, Lee Wu in third, Henry Garcia in fourth, Tanner Schiffner and Jake Hewitt make up the next row. Corey Lobner and William Lewis are on the next row. Jamison Leckaby and Mike Gallant are on the row after that. John Newman, Eduardo Zamora, I can't pronounce that name tonight, Mark Robeson, Christopher Glue, Rodrigo Souza, Dave Schneider, and David Colson rounds out your list with Kyle Porter at the end.
And we watch as Michael Lively decides to put his car inside the pace car. A rare move that usually leads to new race cars. Is that how that works? I don't know.
Step car. What? Sorry.
But with our grid underway as we get around for the formation lap, yeah, we really are lawless as soon as Phil steps away from the booth. We can't be trusted with this. Phil, I hope you're having a good evening away from this chaos that you've left behind for the night.
Oh, it should be a good one. This is going to be a lot of action.
That it certainly is.
Where is the start zone? I did not see the write-up for today. It is
just after the paint, the painted kind of runoff / curbing on the outside, where that ends and kind of where the pit entry or pit wall, sidles back up to the racing surface is where that start zone will be.
Okay. Kyle Porter working his way up. Potter working his way up through the field.
Yep, he's
Trying to
getting
get
the
up
back.
to the GT3s.
Mm-hmm. And he had that quality ban, so we didn't see that GT3 take to qualifying.
Oh, Chris, traffic is absolutely going to be a nightmare, man. I think it's going to be a lot early on.
I think it'll be a lot early on. I think it'll be a lot more when we get to the feature race. The sprint race might be a little bit kinder. The lap times, you saw the difference. It was about 8 seconds between LMP3s and GT4s. And GT3s kind of split the difference.
Right, so it's going to be minute 36. Let me math.
We got to do math here on this here podcast. Stream. Jeez. Coming around, turn number 15, getting set to go in. You'll see the pace car dive in off to the left. They have, after this final hairpin, before they are allowed to get this race underway in the LMP3s, each class going separately as well. It's not like a one universal green flag. When each of them get to that start zone, you'll see it here when they get done with this runoff. You see it off to the left. That is when they're allowed.
We're looking at about 16, 17 laps before the LMP3s catch the GT4s.
Gotcha. And then Scott finally kicks it off. And they are all going racing. LMP3s, Scott Fleming getting a great launch alongside Michael Lively. Michael Lively trying to fend off from Mark Coyne, Jaden Ledbetter, Gian Cardoso just running around the outside. Benjamin O'Shea kind of caught up in the middle of all of this. Adam J. Duff leading us off. We get into the G3s. All 9 of them on track. I think only a couple drivers we don't have there is going to be Ethan Hamlet. And they make it through turn numbers 1, 2, into 3 here. 2 wide between Austin Green and Stephen McLean. As Austin Green runs real wide, and Anthony Newman trying to pick up the pieces. There's 2 teammates trying not to get into contact with each other as well. We dive quickly back to the GT4s. GT4.
LMP3 leaving the pits right now.
I think that's going to be Drew Geyer. We'll catch up with that in a moment. GT3 or GT4s, excuse me.
He is
all
blinking in and out horribly.
Do well. Everyone seems to be going the right direction for the moment. Scott Fleming leading off the pack. They've singled down to a single file. Zippered down. Single file. They've gotten their stuff sorted to where they're in one line. Gian Cardoso labeled as crashed. I think he just had a bit of a hard break. We'll take a look at it real quick. Don't think it'll be something we'll dwell on too long. Behind Benjamin O'Shea. He goes on the brakes. Yeah, just locks it up and technically just spins just a little bit.
Got it.
Technically. And Duff gets around. Saying them. It's very possible. Back in the GT3's Retro Coffin, setting the pace there with a 1 second lead to Tommy Kogan.
Off the track.
Michael Lively also off the track, losing 2 spots there, it looks like, on the relative to Jaden Ledbetter and Mark Coyne. Take a quick look at that one as well. We're getting into turn number 2 here. Wonder if he got a little wide on the exit. See here. Yep. Oh, he locks it up, getting on the brakes on the curbing. Not always the best place to do that, but picks up the pieces there. Did catch it before it becomes a problem. Rodrigo Souza diving into pit lane. I wonder if there's an issue there. See how GT4 Pro doing pretty well. GT4AM, Eduardo Zamora, and Jameson Leckenby. Got it right. Oh, no. John Newman spun in the background of this. He is getting that car going the right way. Doesn't look like any damage. Bruno Clemente defending from Austin Green, it looks like. Passing Austin Green. Passing off the grid. All right. Take a breath. Dive back in. Taking a quick look.
Oh no! All my set cameras just went to shit. Okay, I'm windowed now.
Alrighty. David Schneider joining those having a crash. Oh, John Newman on the outside of that one as those two cars get those cars going the right way. Kyle Potter diving into pit lane. I wonder why.
A lot of people pitting early, it seems like.
I'm wondering if an incident there somewhere. Or maybe something happened? Fleming is gone. Yes, Fleming is gone. 4 seconds of the road to Jaden Ledbetter. Michael Lively, who was right behind him, had a bit of an off there, which allowed Jaden Ledbetter and Mark Coyne to slip through. And Michael Lively is trying to work his way back up the order, but he has a whole heckin' 4 seconds between Jaden Ledbetter and Scott Fleming. This field has spread out quickly.
Word.
Jake Hewitt, all Slalow's crash. Henry Garcia getting a crash there. Let's take a look on board. Maybe not on board, but like, what happened here? Going into the braking zone. Going hard on the braking zone. Oh, does just a little too much rotation. And tries to get that car out of the way there before it comes a problem. Bruno Clemente on the hunt for P number 3 with Stephen McLean in front of him in class. Getting into the braking zone for this really awkward corner, and that one just a bit of oversteer as that car does Porsche things. But doesn't crash. Keeps that car going the right direction. Drew Geyer is, I think, just technically blinking in the background of Kyle Potter here. I'm running along with Kyle Potter. I was going to see what's happening, but I think the answer is Drew's just blinking.
Yeah, big time.
So Scott Fleming setting the fastest lap, but he has traffic to contend with now. So everything beyond that, it's now a game of management. If he can keep the gap he has to the cars in front, behind him available. Now, getting past here it's pretty awkward for GT4s and LMP3s, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, very much so. There's not a lot of room outside of the straights to actually get the passes done. Scott threw it right in there. But there's not a lot of room to get the passes done through the twisty bits. It's only the straights.
Gotcha. Thankfully,
Especially,
there are a good number.
Oh, go ahead.
What were you going to say?
Oh, turn 2 would be an awful place to try to pass at. But people try to do it like, I don't think that's right. I'm having the wrong numbers here. Black, Aston, Zamora. Oh, that was correct. Yeah. Oh, we got Duff spinning.
Adam J. Duff. My life?
Oh, nope. Sorry.
There
Drew Geyer.
Oh, Drew Geyer. Oh, there is Adam J. Duff also spinning, though. So I feel like you were just having a vision for a moment. It was Drew Geyer prior to that. When you see that here, I think he just gets a little bit too on the brakes because he wasn't anticipating the GT3s have a little bit of an earlier brake marker than the LMP3s do. Yeah, I just gave a little too much brake.
Whipped it.
And spun it around. Oh, Adam J. Duff is struggling with that machinery now that it's gotten a little bit faster. Jaden Ledbetter setting the fastest lap, getting 0.04 faster than Scott Fleming, closing that gap down by a second. But these 3 cars, Jaden Ledbetter, Michael Lively, Mark Coyne, all battling for the other 2 spots on the podium, as well as trying to get that gap down by as much as they can. John Newman trying not to get caught up in that as we get through lap number 5. 5 laps in. Steve McLean. Oh, no. Let's take a look on what happened here. This is a super awkward corner, especially if you're in the wrong spot. You go up braking on there, gets too much rotation, and gets that car spun.
Unfortunate.
He pulls it off into the infield, gets it whipped around to go in the right direction, keeps it going. So that'll be Bit of bruised ego, but the paint is still on it. So,
No harm, no foul.
Absolutely. Let's go traffic is what Chris Turner is saying in chat, and I could not agree more. It does make it interesting. We have a bullet. Did I read that right? Bullet as in the... No, it's bullet like a piece of ammunition. Oh, that grip roll from Michael Lively as he goes over that curb. These cars, the LMP3s specifically, have a tendency to try to get airborne when they go over a couple of these curbs, and they're also turning.
That is a hard no for me, dog.
Bet that's something you don't miss when you're in a GT4.
Right. So, GR86s roll like that, and so did P3. Got it.
Yes. Gap still remaining about the same. Mark Coyne getting the fastest lap in, faster than either Jaden or Scott Fleming, down to 135.65. Still not quite the quality pace we saw.
We're not even 10 minutes in yet.
We are not. And Tanner Schiffner leading off, or excuse me, in P4, excuse me. Gosh, one of these numbers, a number, P4, chasing down both Tyler Torville, Lee Wu in front of him. I was going to see if I can hop on the roll bar here, see what this car looks like. This car is one of those cars that has a very different inside noise than the outside noise.
Oh, the BMW? Yeah.
Yeah, the GT4 BMW sounds a lot different. You can see the difference in as well the turning pattern radii, I guess, because it's plural radius, between the Porsche Cayman as well as the BMW M4 GT4 G82 Evo, I think is technically the full title of that. Oh, gosh.
So many letters.
So many letters, so many acronyms that all mean something, so you have to keep them all in there if you want to go, this is exactly what type of car this is. Anthony Newman, drag racing with Kyle Potter. All right, as they go too wide into turn number 1. Oh, there's a look across the nose. That was close. Kyle Potter works his way back up the order, and Bruno Clemente having a bit of a wide run through turn number 3, causing Brandon Potts to get around him as well. And Benjamin O'Shea trying to fight off from
Gene Cardoso.
Gene Cardoso. As soon as I looked away, Bruno Clemente labeled as crashed. This was just a moment ago.
Is this the story of the night?
Oh, this is the thing I saw earlier. It just got labeled weird.
Oh. Just whipped it a little bit.
Yep. Oh, let's see what happens. Oh, no, that was it. All right, cool.
No touch. No touchy.
Yep. Lee Wu. Tyler Torville still in this battle here for P2. LMP3 is now getting involved. Mike Gallant further up, trying to get around. Christopher Blue, not for GT. Oh, that's a spin right there. What happened? Wait. He doesn't have... Oh, no, he just gets spun. They had to have a contact there. That's interesting. Sorry.
Netcode. Oh.
Yeah, it definitely looks like there's a little bit of netcode there because they don't look like they actually fully touch. But I definitely think he's just tracking into the line of Christopher Blue and unfortunately spins over the nose of that GT4. But gets the car going back the right direction. Brandon Potts, Kyle Potter, now duking it out as Kyle Potter, is aggressively trying to get back up the field from where he started with his quali ban. Well, that was a full touch. Yeah, it definitely, unfortunately, looked, got there. It definitely wasn't what I thought it was initially. Just over halfway, Scott Fleming resetting the fastest lap of the race. LMP3 field, very spread out. GT3 field, spread out minus these two cars that we watched pass each other. GT4 field, pretty spread out as well. Jameson Leckenby, we're 4 for 4 now. I would like that noted on the record. You said his name correctly 4 times, once in the race. And Eduardo Zamora bump drafting? Not quite.
Yeah, a little bit.
Almost. As he goes,
that's how I would
that's
do
a
it.
scary place to be, Jameson. Eduardo Zamora giving him all the room. And Jameson deciding, maybe, maybe not, maybe. Oh, there's the move finally done. We'll see if Eduardo has a response. Mark Robeson in the background of this shot as well. Let's ride along with this Aston Martin GT4. I still think this is my favorite GT4. I drove it on accident
people
once.
like it.
Yeah.
The gearing is weird.
Well, it has like basically the BMW has a very similar one. You know, you basically have 4 working gears. It's not too far from like a lot of NASCAR, you know, has 4 gears that you only really use, you know, 3 of or 2 of, especially if you're ovals.
Fair.
But like you just know that you're a gear higher than some of the other ones because you don't use, you know, gear 1 because it's just like a let's get this thing off the line motor gear.
Right.
So he's sticking around half a second behind Eduardo Zamora. We saw Jameson Leckenby just in front of them. I think have a little bit of a wide run through that corner. Such an awkward corner, even in the best of times.
Right.
So
Drew Geyer was in the pits for 20 seconds. That feels like repair.
Mark is an Enduro teammate. Yeah, we're going to see where Mark Robeson ends up. He was doing pretty solid. I think GT3 traffic, unfortunately, separates him from the rest of the pack and puts him, I think, back in the, I guess, the stone's throw of Christopher Blue. We'll have to see.
Whew. Second back.
Let's see.
Doing really good in the AM. That's for sure.
AM battles are abound. Tanner Schiffner defending from Jake Hewitt in GT4 Pro at the moment. I think Tanner unfortunately had a bit of a worse lap trying to not hit the traffic, and as a result, he's now in this battle here. We find our gearbox cam, or a cam that I can use. This one? Yeah, this one will work. You can see Jake Hewitt in that Porsche Cayman. Adam J. Duff trying to get around both of them and not crash either of them in the process. Just an awkward place to be. And you like for Adam at this moment, the easiest thing is just to wait.
Right.
If he sticks his nose up the inside of a corner, especially that last quarter, it'll just cause a wreck for both of them.
Oof.
And
2 wheels.
We get there. They get there eventually. So, Jake Hewitt, half a second behind these two. Stephen McLean, a little bit ways earlier. Benjamin O'Shea and Gian Cardoso also duking it out. Benjamin O'Shea running really wide there at the end of turn number 3. 4 minutes.
Retro Coffin now has a 5-second lead on Tommy Kogan in GT3s.
So there's Retro Coffin, and there's Tommy Kogan in the background.
Ethan might not be with us tonight, but he is here with us in spirit through Retro Coffin.
Yeah, I'd say Retro Coffin has been given the mantle. Stephen McLean, Bruno Clemente on a tear as well down this. Kerry Nolan up into 4th. There we go. Jaden Ledbetter setting the fastest lap with a 134.92. We're getting back to quality pace here. Slowly but surely. Going back to this fight. Tanner Schiffner, Jake Hewitt. Looking at where that's going. That gap has closed down between these two. Jake Hewitt really figuring out the pace. And like you said, the Porsche in GT3 and GT4, that corner exit speed, I think, is really coming in clutch for this driver.
Class of the field.
Jaden Ledbetter keeps going faster with a 134.78.
Oof.
Oh, no.
He is hunting.
Jameson Leckenby labeled as crash. Both Eduardo Zamora and Mark Robeson, who he was in front of, he's now behind. I'll take a look and see what happens. Does he just cook it into this corner? It looks like he does, and it's just the slowest almost spin,
rough.
but loses all that momentum. And around go both of those drivers. Christopher Blue now on the hunt for that position as well.
I keep saying it. GT4 AM is the best racing in this series.
It is certainly some of the most exciting as we get through this. GT4 in general, I feel like, is still some of the best racing on iRacing to date has been done for me in GT4 machinery. I love the Krevenik 12-hour series that uses them along with others.
I didn't realize that the Krevenik series used the GT4s along with the GT3s and
it did.
Porsche Cup.
Yes, and the Porsche Cup. It used to use the TCRs, and I'm really sad they got rid of the TCRs and put in the GT3s. Because GT3s are in enough 12-hour races as it is. They don't have a whole series about it. But people love GT3s, which is why they race them. So they'll race. That's why they put them in there.
Right. Bring more people to the series, but GT4s are the best.
They are. It gets really awkward too because the Porsche Cup cars and the GT3s are, near the same pace, especially in the straight line speed. And in fact, the Porsche Cups are usually faster in the straight line speed. So it gets really awkward when you're hanging out behind a GT3 as a Porsche Cup car. I've driven that a number of times this year as well, and I've just been like, this series is no longer as fun as it once was. Because you no longer have a distinct class.
Oh, highlighted. Okay.
But Stephen McLean, Kyle Potter, now duking it out in between the GT4M traffic we just saw a moment ago. They are all trying to work their way through. It's a bit of an awkward spot. True Guy labeled as crashed once again. I wonder if he has another lockup going in the same corner. He gets on. What? No, sorry, not the same corner. What happened this time? Oh, does he lock it up, trying not to hit? Oh, locks up, trying not to let the leader through. Just slows down a lot. Okay. All's well that ends well. Henry Garcia, Corey Lobner, the driver we got to ride along with, now under threat from Henry Garcia. This is for P6 in GT4 Pro. So a lot of the fun back and forth battles we get to see this season are in the GT4 Pro. While we were talking about all that, the race is over. We finished. We hit the checkered flag. The finish is done. Scott Fleming taking home.
Really?
Yeah, we have. 20 minutes have gone by like that. Scott Fleming taking home the victory in the sprint. Jaden Ledbetter coming home P2. Michael Lively, Mark Coyne coming home P3 and P4. Gian Cardoso rounding out that podium. We'll let the rest of the field's results come in. Retro Coffin and Tommy Kogan currently working their way towards the checkered flag at this very moment. 5 seconds separating those two, and 11 seconds separating Tommy Kogan and Austin Green. GT4 Pro, Nathaniel Redman also coming around the start-finish, along with Tyler Torville. Right behind him, 3 seconds, defending against Lee Wu. And once all of these drivers finish getting their way across the checkered flag, we will see where everyone shakes down. Henry Garcia getting around Corey Lobner on that final lap. And
Excuse me, long day.
Jameson Leckenby and Christopher Blue, along with these 4 cars, all for position, come across nose to tail. Eduardo Zamora winning out against Mark Robeson, Jameson Leckenby, Christopher Blue. Those 4, I think we're going to see more of that in the future. Those 4, I think, are going to be in a fantastic battle for the feature race here in a moment. All right. John Newman, our last driver to come across the checkered flag, I believe, makes his mark, gets that car.
Fixed?
I think he's out of fuel. Kind of looked like he was sputtering.
Right.
William
Way
Lewis,
to push it to the end there, John.
Had the pace to beat Scott and Steven last time we were here before getting wrecked. Yeah. William Lewis having a fantastic run in those cars. So, let's look at the results. Do we have results? We do have results. Heat results for the LMP3. Scott Fleming, like I said, taking home that sprint victory alongside Jaden Ledbetter in P2. Michael Lively, Mark Coyne, and Gian Cardoso round out the top 5. Benjamin O'Shea, Adam J. Duff, and Drew Geyer round out the 8 drivers that take to the checkered flag. Logan, GT3s, how'd they finish?
So we got Retro Coffin in first. Tommy Cogan, Austin Green, Kerry Nolan, Bruno Clemente, Kyle Potter, Steve McLean, Brandon Potts, Anthony Newman, I think, is rounding out the GT3s.
Yep, all 9 of those drivers. GT4 Pro. We have a little more drivers there. We have 9 as well. Nathaniel Redmond taking home that win alongside Tyler Torville, 3 seconds behind. A close battle between him and Lee Wu for the second and third podium spots. Tanner Schiffner rounding out, and Jake Hewitt. There we go. Rounding out the top 5. It's not the names that we usually have problems with. It's all the other names that we don't usually have problems with. Henry Garcia, Corey Lobner, David Colson, and Mike Gallant round out our 9 GT4 Pro drivers. Logan, GT4AM.
GT4AM, we have William Lewis in first. Eduardo Zamora, yes, in second. Mike Robeson in third. Jameson Leckaby.
5
Christopher
times.
Blue.
Good job.
John Newman. David Schneider, and Rodrigo Souza rounding out the GT4 AM.
Yes. 8 drivers all taking the checkered flag. I am excited. We saw basically everybody, I'm pretty sure, to made it to the checkered flag. And we're going to do another 70 minutes of this? 90 minutes of this? 70
minutes, because 90
I said
minutes
90
total.
at the start of this broadcast, but definitely is 70. I don't know who let me say that. How do we get our team names on the results page? The easiest way to do that, I've found, is to get the SDK driver information app. I've tried to do it on my end. The answer is I can't do it on my end. So the easy way to do that is to do that through the SDK driver information app. I apologize for missing y'all. I'll update y'all after the broadcast. I thought I could do it. I was trying to do it briefly, and I was like, oh, what do you mean I can't do it? What do you mean? So I apologize. Can I be in a GT4 AM since I'm slower than Mark? If you're in a GT4, I guess. I don't know. I don't make the decisions here. I'm just going to say maybe, because statistically you might be, but
We're just the voices.
yeah, we are just the people in a booth talking for far too long. So, all those drivers set the grid. I'm going to go run through it real quick because basically all of your finishers in pretty much the order of where they finished. But to clarify, Scott Fleming, Jaden Ledbetter on that front row alongside Michael Lively, Mark Coyne for row number 2, Gian Cardoso, Benjamin O'Shea, Adam J. Duff are going to be your 7 LMP3 drivers. Let's start with the LMP3s. I'm sure we'll see, I believe that is Drew Geyer, our 8th one, make his way up from where he starts. Retro Coffin leading off the GT3s alongside Tommy Cogan, Austin Green, Kerry Nolan, Bruno Clemente, Kyle Potter, Steve McLean, Brandon Potts, and Anthony Newman are your 9 GT3s. There's Drew Geyer. I'm sure we'll see him hop up to LMP3s. And then we'll see Nathaniel Redmond and Tyler Torville take to the front row of GT4 Pro. Lee Wu, Tanner Schiffner, Jake Hewitt, Henry Garcia, Corey Lobner are going to be most of your drivers there. William Lewis alongside Eduardo Zamora for GT4M. Mark Robeson and Jameson Leckenby. 6 for 6. I'm going to stop counting now. We did it. We're good. We've gotten it. Christopher Blue, David Colson, John Newman, David Schneider, Mike Gallant, and Rodrigo Souza are going to be your 34 cars that take to the green flag here in just a moment. They are getting those cars underway, warming up those tires as best they can. Watch Drew Geyer there in the background make his way out to that way he can join up with his appropriate class and start where he should be. Tommy Cogan has been listed as crashed. What?
Huh?
Tommy Cogan, you were
How?
stopped. I'm also curious. I think it's just SDK doing SDK things. Because he's just chilling. Yeah, no, I think it's just SDK doing SDK things.
Okay.
Nothing happened there.
Hope you didn't pick up Ghost 4X from that.
Probably not. Let's see if I can do cool bump buttons on this. We'll see. Gearbox.
Man.
I go to this. I go here. Yeah. And there, you got that onboard view of the pace car. Looking at the cars and the LMP3 field as they get those cars underway.
That's a shot.
It is.
I like that.
The unfortunate thing is it gets considered as it just smashes all of the drivers together because it's not technically a car that gets counted as one of the cars. So it doesn't. You can't see all the splits of cars how they should be. So it works. It works really cool for what it is. But Kyle Potter making his way up into the mid pack of GT3 after starting last. It seemed like a weaving going on. Don't worry. The GT3s are going to do, I think, doing all the weaving for the rest of the classes combined. With how that new tire model is, especially Kyle Potter right there. He's got it.
So what I do is ride my brakes.
I've heard
for the
that
entire
also
outlap.
works. Do you find a noticeable difference?
I don't know. I've been riding my brakes so long, don't know if I notice the difference, because it's just something I instinctually do now during the pace lap.
Ah, okay. Brake dragging doesn't work anymore, according to Chris Turner. Pace car, however, is in, which does work, according to me. Scott Fleming going to lead off the field alongside Jaden Ledbetter. Michael Lively will be in that second row alongside Mark Coyne. We're gonna see if I can do the grid. Oh, I have Barney and the green flag. They're hiding out underneath it. I don't like this shot as much as I thought I did. There we go. I think Scott Fleming is tearing off. Green flag has flown. We have those lovely red lights saying they're going and underway. Michael Lively also getting a fantastic launch. Both of these drivers too wide with Jaden Ledbetter, Mark Coyne, and Gian Cardoso in too wide as well into turn number 3 and turn number 4. We get to the hairpin. We'll follow Mark Coyne. Mark Coyne running real
across
wide.
right now.
And Retro Coffin leading off the GT3s. And they have a much more very tidy launch there. You watch all of them too wide through turns number 1, 2, and 3. Through the start-finish stretch. We're going to watch them go too wide through turns 1, 2, and 3. Bruno Clemente up, in, and around the outside of Kerry Nolan. Nathaniel Redmond leading off GT4 Pro. Nocturnal Gaming, thank you for that raid. We'll get back to you in one moment.
Woo!
Oh my gosh, 4 wide I thought I saw back there in GT4. And,
we got
and Tommy Kogan.
Road.
Yep, David Coulson, I think, getting hung out, unfortunately, to dry on the outside line there. We'll see what happened with Tommy Kogan. Right now, he was in second, lost out to Austin Green on the jump there. And then I think he gets, unfortunately, we'll see, something says. He,
wonder if he got net coded by Bruno or just,
let's take a look, see if I can run on
this
the,
stuff.
let's see if we look on the gearbox. Nope, there we go. No.
Yeah, well,
Maybe netcode. Interesting. All right, well, as we've been talking about this, the race has been going on. Scott Fleming leading away lap number 1, a second ahead of Michael Lively, and Jaden Ledbetter. Michael Lively getting a great launch there to end up being on the inside for turn number 3, which is an important one. And Jaden Cardoso launching up the inside past Benjamin O'Shea. Those two still going too wide. Mark Coyne trying to make up the difference and get around. This battle pretty intense between these 3 drivers. Bruno Clemente and Kyle Potter touching the neck of, yeah, that's what I would have to imagine. Bruno Clemente, Kyle Potter coming around lap number 2. And we have so many drivers. You look from Tanner Schiffner here, if I can, sorry, Tyler Turbo. Let me help if I can, do I have a good, look at all those GT3s, GT4s in the background. They are a train of them. We'll watch this. We'll keep on this through turn number 1 here. It'll be this nice, wide, sweeping right-hander. And just look off to the left of Tanner Schiffner, or to the right, you'll just see cars all the way. Not a second between these guys, up until from where Tyler Torville is all the way back to David Coulson in the GT4 AM field. You'll just watch them go around that hairpin. Fantastic stuff. Anthony Newman, unfortunately, I think, getting the short end of the stick and ending up getting into a crash as well. See what happens here. I think he might have just gotten on the brakes. It seems to be the place for GT3s. Getting on the brakes here just a little too late, a little too hard. Yeah, abandoning that run because I think he just mistimed the braking marker there. Gets that car going.
At least he didn't hit that wall.
Exactly. Very good for him. Bruno Clemente pushing up the inside to try to get into P2. Austin Green holding up him and Kyle Potter, who are both trying to go around him now. Too wide through turn number 15, that tight hairpin.
We have, so far, Coffin is out in a 2 3/4 to 2.5 second gap on these three gentlemen.
Yeah.
Porsche is doing Porsche things.
Yep. Porsche doing Porsche things. The rest of the field beginning to spread out. However, Scott Fleming, while setting the fastest lap of the race, Michael Lively setting a faster lap but had an off track. So that does not get qualified. Bruno Clemente running real wide in that hairpin. You saw that there as Kyle Potter trying to get around him but unable to do so. Also getting caught up in that. We're going to see how turn 5 turns out. I'm going to hang out with these guys. Let's ride along board with Austin Green, see what he sees. What this driver's when you're like third in a pack here, that lunge up the outside doesn't seem to work out as he tries to avoid hitting Kyle Potter. When you're like in third in a train here, what are you looking for when you're trying to make try to get that pace to make a pass?
Trying to see what the guys in front of you are doing, because if they're getting into each other, that would help you out. But also, you want to stay close enough so if one of them does make a mistake, you can capitalize on it.
Mm-hmm. That absolutely makes sense. I think I would be in the same boat. Bruno Clemente running real wide there. Kyle Potter trying to capitalize it. Austin Green waiting for something to go wrong. As we ride along board halfway through that lap. Kerry Nolan and... Kerry Nolan. I don't know why I said Kerry Nolan. Anyway. Again, I've been driving on top of... broadcasting this night, so we're just going to blame it all on the fact that Phil is not here to keep us in line.
Blame it on the rain.
Oh, Anthony Newman, Tommy Kogan trying not to get into each other. Retro Coffin just keeping the fastest lap, keeping that gap going. 4 seconds between him and Bruno Clemente up in the GT3s. If you're third in line, you bump draft the middle car up to the front one. That is...
criminally.
That is a choice, yep.
That's ballsy, Chris. Really ballsy.
Oh, Bruno Clemente running wide once again on that hairpin, losing out to both Kerry Nolan and Stephen McLean. Austin Green and Kyle Potter keeping it pretty close to each other. As that gap opens up even further. Scott Fleming being hounded by Michael Lively. The only a 10th separating their laps this time by. And they're getting into... pretty close. I think they're getting into lapped traffic. There's Rodrigo Souza right up the road in that GT4 that has the same livery as Bruno Clemente's last season. Or is it Eduardo Zamora? One of the two.
Mm-hmm.
I only keep so many
Eduardo
things in my
Zamora.
head. Gotcha. Perfect. Thank you.
My math was totally off on when the LMP3s would be catching the GT.
Well, I think Rodrigo had a off earlier. So he is the back marker of the GT4s. He is 11 seconds, or now 12 seconds after the LMP3s get through, behind David Schneider, who I think is maybe the more proper marker for that. So I'm guessing lap 6 or 7 is when we'll see them
when
actually.
They started moving
Gotcha.
through last.
Oh no, David Schneider. As soon as we look at him, he is making that spin NT8, and he is going to put that car out of the way to not get in the way of these LMP3 drivers. Adam J. Duff, I think, having a spin almost the same spot. That is a hard corner for GT or LMP3s, not GT3s. So, Drew Geyer as well. I wonder what happened there. Both of them getting those cars going the right direction. Stephen McLean, Bruno Clemente, and Kerry Nolan all together. Oh, that's the grid. I don't want that. I want TV1. What else is TV1? To look at the time delta between these drivers, Battles box. Nope. I mean, battles box will also work. One of the two. You can see the relatives there between all those drivers. Lap time is what I'm looking for.
Oof.
Both McLean and Newman setting faster laps. Corey Lobner and Brandon Potts. Oh no. He's still going the right direction. All right, let's take a look. Corey Lobner, unfortunately labeled as off track. Ooh, this is going to be into the hairpin. Yeah, I'm going to guess that is what happened there. Oh, he bops that curb and then has to get on the brakes hard, and that's going to cause him to spin around. Eduardo Zamora, great reaction time. William Lewis and Jameson Leckenby, as well as all the
Way to catch it, Corey.
Yeah, still a fantastic heads-up driving from everyone involved, or really not involved as a result. So they get that car going the right direction. LB3s of Scott Fleming and Michael Lively getting involved in that, and that's how the pass for the lead happened as they do a little bit of door banging into turn number 6. Scott Fleming finally ceding the position at the end of turn 7. So we go back to live here because we're still in replay mode. Scott Fleming still trying to get around. Jaden Ledbetter back in the picture here. Scott Fleming had just set the fastest lap the lap prior.
Good grief.
Oh, all right. Taking a breath.
We knew it would be action-packed. We absolutely knew it would be action-packed. And Navarra has not let down yet.
It certainly has not. It has been doing what it is known for. It is one of the few tracks I am kind of sad I'm not driving. I think at this very moment I'm kind of happy I'm not driving it because I think I'd probably want to jump back into LMP3, and I think trying to navigate traffic on Navarra would be so I'm happy in that regard, but I'm kind of sad. Oh, Michael Lively running really wide here. I was trying to keep up with the start of the kind of the lead trio here since they're all within a second of each other. And this battle is not close to reaching a natural conclusion yet. Michael Lively losing a lot of time to Scott Fleming here because of the traffic. Biggest thing, how do you like managing traffic as both a faster or slower car?
Slower car, it is keep to your line, keep driving the way you are expected to be driving, because these guys are going to try to pass you wherever they can. As a quicker car, I'm not really sure. I've not done a lot of races in the quicker cars. Normally I'm in the slower class, so yeah.
Yeah, it's very fair. I think the quick answer I have from my race earlier to this afternoon is managing traffic is how races are won and lost. Especially longer endurance races with multi-class traffic. You can see the gap there opening for Michael Lively as a result of Scott Fleming being stuck behind Henry Garcia, and Jaden Ledbetter almost getting into Henry Garcia. Henry Garcia is trying to avoid traffic. Traffic is a big name of the game. I think this is one of those tracks where it is, what is currently making or breaking their runs, and the lap times you see for all of them involve that. Been hanging out with the top 3 in LMP3. I'm going to take a quick jump further back. Stephen McLean, as well as Bruno Clemente and Kerry Nolan, these 3 for GT3, P4, 5, and 6, as they currently stand. Bruno Clemente currently trying to find a way around Kerry Nolan. You can see that car getting real close to the bumper of that Mustang. Stephen McLean taking the chance to take a breather, have it not go wrong for him. Oh, defensive line from Kerry Nolan. Bruno Clemente going to try to go for that over-under. Meanwhile, Retro Coffin continuing to go faster. Are we shocked? Are we surprised?
Not at all. He is still 4 seconds ahead of Potter.
Oh my gosh. And Kerry Nolan holding the outside line here. Bruno Clemente having to take the inside line, but the pass looks like it's trying to get done. Kerry Nolan trying not to give it up, and a slide there out of Bruno Clemente. These two still going too wide through turn 4 into turn 5.
If they're not careful, McLean's going to catch them.
McLean did catch them. I think if not careful, McLean's going to find his own way trying to pass through them. They still go too wide through turn number 6 into 7. And Bruno Clemente finally leaving the door. Oh, just looking for that lunge. has to get on that brake a little bit harder so that way he doesn't run into that rear quarter panel of that Mustang. Now they're going down turn number 9. I want to see. Let's see if I can hop on board with Stephen McLean here. We can watch a little bit from what it looks like to be inside one of these GT3s. You see those two out in front of you. If I hop in board with Bruno, I'll watch this car just trying to find the right line through this car, and he definitely has the pace there. Kerry Nolan, however, just putting his car onto the apex first and then just running away with that naturally aspirated V8 Mustang.
It also seems like taking the inside line in these turns is helping him out greatly. Oh, we got William Lewis around.
Oh, William Lewis is
Looks
around.
Like a self-spin.
Oh, we'll look at that here in just a moment. I'm trying to see how this plays out because I'm loving it. Kerry Nolan put on a very big class defense. Bruno Clemente looking up the inside once again. Those brake discs heating up as he gets on the binders. Kerry Nolan runs wide as a result, but the two of them still duking it out. Oh, man.
Good Lord. Oh, looks like he finally made it stick.
He has finally made it stick. Multi-class, I think, having a little to play there as Kerry was just a little bit safer. Now, Stephen McLean trying to see if he can also get around. Let's take a look at what happened to William Lewis and then take a quick jump up to the top of the order where Michael Lively, Scott Fleming, and Jaden Ledbetter are also still duking it out for those positions. Oh, yeah, he gets on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, just a self-spin, gets on the brakes a little too late while the car is not pointed the right direction.
We are 15 minutes in.
We are 15 minutes in. Mustang's a long car and doesn't like twisty tracks. That is very true. Kerry Nolan has their work cut out for them. That's better than single class every day of the week. That is so true. Additionally, first 10 today, I can imagine it looked like it was a lot of fun. In Road America, the Global Endurance Tour. All three of them bunching up as Michael Lively gets a little bit suffered. And Jaden Ledbetter setting the fastest lap this past time by, 135.29. And, oh my goodness. Nose to tail, these three drivers as they're coming around the last couple corners for the lap. Lap 10. It says 100 on there. We're not going to get 100 laps. We are going to be here for another 55 minutes. Almost said 45, but that would be an hour. And we have a little more than that. And so call these three.
These still two are just going at it.
Yeah, duking it out right along with one of our league admins, Jaden Ledbetter. Currently sitting P3 in this. A little bit later on the brakes than there's a lockup from, I believe that was Michael Lively in front of this trio. I think he's got a couple of moments here that are keeping him well within arm's reach of both Scott Fleming and Jaden Ledbetter. Daniel Rudman in GT4 Pro, while we're watching along board with this, setting the fastest lap time, this most recent time by, and getting that car a good gap to Tyler Torville in GT4 Pro. Adam J. Duff, I think, unfortunately, is around again, getting passed by Drew Geyer. Let's see.
So, Redmond is 3.5 seconds up on Tyler Torville, and it's another half second back to Schiffner. So it feels like Torville and Schiffner are battling it out pretty good. Still 4.5 second lead for Retro Coffin. And yes, Chris. Ooh! We have Drew Geyer into Adam Duff into Who is that? Garcia. And I think you are muted, Fen.
I am indeed. Thank you. I wanted to see what else happened here. Drew Geyer looks like he spins in front of Henry Garcia, gets that incident there. And then in the middle of this, looks like Jake Hewitt crashes as well. No, he just locks up trying to not die. Okay.
Right.
That he does. Top three, spread out a little bit. Mark Coyne catching up and trying to get past Benjamin O'Shea after setting the fastest lap this time by. Drew Geyer diving into pit lane. Adam J. Duff now on an island by himself. Brandon Potts hanging out with Stephen McLean at the tail end of GT3. And Henry Garcia, Jake Hewitt. This pass got done because of, I think, some unfortunate traffic. So I'm seeing if this is going to be one that the battle comes back the way of Henry Garcia. These two duking it out. Retro Coffin having them to get through in the middle of this, which I think will unfortunately spread it out further for Henry Garcia.
Retro now 5 1/4 up on Potter.
Mm-hmm. Fleming with a run. If we take a quick look back. If he had one, he backed out of it for the moment.
Oh, looks like he's going for it right now again.
Yeah. Mark Coyne getting around Benjamin O'Shea. Oh, I think Benjamin O'Shea unfortunately had an off. Oh, multi-class getting in the way here. Compromise exit for Michael and Scott Fleming. Jaden Ledbetter hanging out right behind Scott Fleming. Oh,
beating up that gearbox.
Yeah. Making friends there. Bump draft. Let's go. I don't think we're going to bump draft in the way that you bump draft, Chris Turner. So, Gino's pushing him there. I mean, it's very possible. I'm not saying it's possible.
BP is in the pits. I don't know if it's scheduled or not, but I know he has been having internet issues.
Ooh. He jumps the pits, so he has a spin here. I think he
got it. Oof.
I think this was his second spin, too. I think he had one just prior to it. Yeah, he has a actual spin here. Keeps it out of the wall initially, and then eventually has that slower spin that we saw just a moment ago, and then jumps the pits. Calls it a day. These three still duking it out. Lee Wu on the tail of Tanner Schiffner. This battle we saw play out once before. We're going to see how it pans out this time by. We haven't ridden on with the Porsche yet today, I don't think. Let's go on board. Right on with one of these Cayman 718 GT4s that are about as old as iRacing is, I feel like. One of the first cars you could ever drive on here. This is not serious, but I am making quotes and poking fun at the age of most of the GT4 models here on iRacing.
We got all the GT3s updated. Let's get them GT4s updated.
Happening.
Not all the GT3s, but a good amount of them.
We're missing like two, I think, at this point. And Kyle Potter coming in between them to get that done. Both of them behind Tyler Torville by half a second. Or a second, excuse me. We got a GT3 that doesn't even run anymore. I guess, yeah, that's true. The Acura NSX.
Yeah.
I believe.
Which was just released in the past year.
Yeah, in iRacing. It's been running for a couple of years in GT3 real life.
Right.
But they're going to update it, I believe, with a new one. Oh, slide there from Jason Leckenby.
Wow.
Costs him.
Nice save.
But a fantastic save from him. He keeps ahead of Mark Robeson, but only barely. Scott Fleming and Jaden Ledbetter now duking it out. has Michael Lively finally figuring out how to get that car to go the right direction in a way that gets him ahead of Scott Fleming consistently. We'll see how long that lasts. Mark is too nice. I'm working on it, though. I think Mark is the right amount of nice. I don't think you need to change anything. Jameson Leckenby and Mark Robeson duking it out for the bottom step of the podium in GT4M. Oh, man. All right. 23 minutes in. We should be coming up on pit stops pretty soon. Am I correct in that?
Yes. So that would probably be, 25 minutes in the tank. Wrong room. There we go. 25 minutes. Yeah, we're going to be getting close.
Gotcha. And we will see probably 2 stops this evening. One at 25 to 30-ish, and then one at 55 to 60-ish. Ish. Or 50 to 55-ish. Anyway. I don't think we'll be seeing any fantastic one-stop fuel save strategies.
No. No. I feel like these boys are pushing tonight.
I think they are. I think it is. But it's also, I feel like, such a great track that when you do that, you get everything lined up correctly.
Right.
David Coulson, I think, is diving into the pit lane for his first stop. See,
yep.
I have that as a harbinger of pit stops to come for the GT4 field.
Try and get that undercut in.
I think so. He was only on the jacks for 6 seconds. I think he has come in to call it for the evening. I don't see him on track anymore.
Ah, that stinks.
Yeah, unfortunate. Are we running again tomorrow? No, I am not. We have another team. A sister team is running in the LMP2 tomorrow, and I might be streaming that because I'm going to be a kind team principal and do that. But I don't plan on driving it myself. Chance tomorrow. No. Well, you might have a chance. If you're running it again tomorrow, you absolutely could. It just, you might have an LMP2 out there that may or may not help you because I can either confirm nor deny their willingness to help as if I'm not there. Mark Coyne diving into pit lane. And
there we go. That feels normal.
Yeah. First one to dive in. See where he ends up on the jacks. Drew Geyer also technically in for a pit stop.
Garcia's in.
Or a few stops. Who else is in? Excuse me. Oh, Henry Garcia. Yes, you're correct. Thank you. He just got done. 24 seconds for Henry Garcia in the box.
That feels like fuel only.
Mm-hmm. 18 seconds for Mark Coyne. Guessing fuel only as well.
The low temperatures, I'm sure, are really helping out with that.
Yeah. Jaden Ledbetter, once again, hounding Scott Fleming for P2. Wanting to move up the podium, Steve McLean trying not to get caught up in the crossfire as these cars get around some of the more awkward corners. Oh, it's a spin out of Jaden Ledbetter. He got on the curbing just a little too much as he puts that car, and it slides out from under him. He ends up dropping back. I'll say Austin Green, Bruno Clemente back into a fight. Nathaniel Redmond setting the fastest lap in GT4. Perot.
6.5 seconds up on P2.
Wow.
That's insane.
That consistency. Liwu, Eduardo Zamora, Christopher Blue all diving in for their first pit stop of the night. That was I believe, a spun David Schneider. Yep, there he is. He got back on track. Just past those two guys. Austin Green, Bruno Clemente. Do you go for the fuel save strat if you have to do 2 more of those?
2 more.
Two more stints.
No. I would still push it
Okay.
as hard as I could.
How long of a race do you have to go before you start worrying about fuel strategy?
I don't know. I usually have our team principal is Brandon, and he usually worries about all that stuff.
Ah, okay. You just drive it, and then you hope you make the numbers that he's looking for.
Right.
Gotcha. That makes sense. It's been the new thing I've been trying to do this year as I'm hitting my second full year of sim racing. I just feel like it's a fun thing to do. Mark Robeson, Jamison Leckenby, still duking it out. Fuel strat in this depends on the track and fuel use. It definitely does, I would have to imagine.
Yeah, killed. Like if it was, I know I can fuel save on a track like Laguna, but here,
Jamison sliding out, but keeps that car well within the bounds. He was, however, going to start holding up Mike Gallant and Corey Lobner. Both cars looking to improve their times. Mike Gallant diving into pit lane.
So is William Lewis.
Yeah, William Lewis. Jake Hewitt as well, already in the box. And these two drivers work their way in. John Newman in as well. The top of the order, as well as most of the field, pretty spread out at this point.
Right.
As we're coming up just shy of halfway, 5 minutes till that point. So, the two of them, closest battle on track at this very second, as they both dive in for their respective fuel stops. At least their first one of the night, I'm guessing. Probably be a shorter one next time. Lee Wu trying to chase down Corey Lobner? No. Corey Lobner trying to chase down Jamison Leckenby. Yes. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Trying to read my relative, and apparently I read it backwards. Jamison Leckenby and Corey Lobner battling for GT4 overall positions for their points. They are not in the same class, so they're not battling for championship positions, but the points they get is split evenly depending on where you finish in the GT4 class as a whole. So if you finish really well in the GT4 class and you're a GT4M, you get a whole lot more, points that matter for your championship than if you're in GT4 Pro and you finish down by the GT4M drivers. Statistically, I believe. Phil's not here to tell me that that's how that works, so I'm going to have to work with it.
Father's trying to make some hay while the sun's shining right now, trying to get some time on the track.
Yeah, that he
See
is.
if we can't open up a gap for Retro.
Yeah, Retro.
Retro.
Yeah, say Retro in for his first stop. 18 on lap 18, 22 seconds. It's a little bit slower than either Austin Green or Bruno Clemente, but he's still many seconds ahead of them. So,
right. He is a second ahead of Stephen McLean. Austin Green, he's about 10 seconds back to Austin Green.
Kyle Potter diving in this lap as well. Corey Lobner, Mark Robeson also diving in.
Oh, we got Stephen McLean in. He was just passing crap cars Porsche. New guy, Hewitt.
Yeah, Jake Hewitt. Oh, it's an awkward couple corners to do it in as well, and I think he just gets too much on that curb, and you can see him spin there. Thankfully, doesn't hit anybody with it, but costs him time.
I was all wet on that one. Ooh! Michael Lively locking up his brakes, going around John Newman.
Oh, no.
No, he's fine. He lived.
All right.
Just locked him up.
Scott Fleming, Jaden Ledbetter also in. Michael Lively able to pull a gap and also have the fuel strat to do it.
Damn. Must be getting those laps just right.
Oh,
Where are we
Jameson
sitting
Leckenby.
at on off tracks right now?
Off tracks are pretty minor, at least according to what I'm seeing. Oh, this is the in lap for Jameson Leckenby. What happens here? Does he just bump into? Okay. 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 That just.
That's swap.
Yeah. All right. I'm trapping into. Yeah, I don't think so. What was I gonna say? Let's say something. Gone now. All right. Michael Lively in from the lead of the race. Finally getting his pit stop done. One of two, I believe. I believe he's going to have to take two. But he's getting close to the mark where he could do one. Mike Gallant.
Duff currently.
Oh, no.
Duff is serving a black flag right now.
Who is?
Adam Duff.
Ooh, oh no. Incident? Speeding in pit lane? Yeah, that looks like a
Possibly.
speeding in pit lane violation.
He's
that's a
on
stop and go.
50 seconds right now
Yeah.
in pit lane. In box, at least.
Yeah, we'll see if he continues on to be just about a minute. And it looks like we'll just have to see Michael Lively finally out of his lap. We're going to see where he comes across. Comes out alongside Scott Fleming. Scott Fleming, I think, is going to have the run here as a result, though. Yeah, it's Michael Lively trying to keep up with him, but gets passed for the lead of the race after the pit cycle. 23 seconds in the box for Michael Lively, 21 seconds in the box for Scott Fleming. So, first pit stop going the way of Scott. We'll see how the second pit stop goes because he's saved a whole lap, Michael Lively has, that he doesn't have to refuel the car later on. Oh, Kyle Potter labeled as crash. You have a couple more here. I'm going to cycle through them as quick as I can. It looks like a classic hairpin maneuver. Oh, or he just gets, just a little too... And gets that car going in the right direction. Just missing out on... Keeps it ahead of Austin Green, Bruno Clemente, but only just, and Drew Geyer right in front of him.
He got very lucky there with that.
Yeah. Kerry Nolan, that same corner, catching so many drivers out tonight. Another one gets that car at least out of the way. Last, certainly not least, Mike Gallant. We saw him battling Corey Laubner before the pit cycle, and this is after the pit cycle, coming up to the final corner.
Is that the same turn? Oh.
No, different turn. Just runs it really wide and then gets, I think.
Oof.
Yeah, just runs really wide. Okay, I don't know why I got labeled as crash. He's fine. He's going the right direction at least. Michael Lively, Scott Fleming. That battle is over. Mark Coyne, after setting some rapid laps and a quick pit stop for Mark Coyne, sees Mark Coyne duking it out with Michael Lively for P2. Tommy Kogan caught up in all of this as well. P4. Let me put it that way because of the spin early on. Mark Coyne trying to get around him to keep up that battle for P2 in LMP3. Austin Green, Bruno Clemente, Kyle Potter, all duking it out here. Hop back over to them for a brief moment. One of three battles on the track. William Lewis and John Newman, Mark Robeson are also in a battle. See how they look in just a moment. All right. Thoughts so far? We hit the halfway point.
Has been non-stop thus far. Just trying to keep focused on everything going on because there is cars everywhere doing everything.
Yes, there are cars all over the place doing everything all of the time. This battle we have here from GT3 for P2 overall. I think Kyle Potter technically a part of this, but I think he is once again pulling the gap he had prior to his spin to Austin Green and Bruno Clemente. Those two battling for the third spot on the podium. There we go. One of those. William Lewis, William Lewis, Jameson Leckenby, John Newman, and Mark Robeson. All four of them also in their own battle as the GT3s are getting around. And as I'm talking about all of this, Michael Lively is getting passed by Mark Coyne for P2 in LMP3.
Good grief.
You want to do everything? He said everything all the time. Here's everything all the time.
All at once.
Yeah, all at once. And this battle here for P2 and LMP3 happening. Oh, Mike Gallant, unfortunately, getting caught out, just sliding, I think, a little wide here. We can look back in a moment. I want to catch up with these 4 drivers that are in GT4 as a GT3 traffic also gets around them.
Bruno Clemente just had to go super wide to get around John Lewis. William Lewis, sorry.
Yeah, Bruno Clemente. The 5 cars now. Christopher Blue arriving on scene. GT4AM, the place to be. Jameson Lekbe, second in class. You have second to 5th in class, all in one set of cars. If I ride along with Christopher Blue, let's see if I can see all of them here in this corner. You can. Look at all 5 of those cars, including the one that we're riding along with.
Good grief.
Oh, man.
There's going to be some chaos eventually.
There may or may not be. Christopher Blue having a pretty solid season, if I double check my metrics. Currently head of GT4AM of the championship right now. Eduardo Zamora, Mike Robertson getting alongside. 2 of them duking it out as I'm talking about this. 2 right down the front stretch. Mark Coyne and Michael Lively trying to get around. Scott Fleming getting caught up in traffic has brought that gap down to a second between him and Mark Coyne. Oh, there's a spin out of John. Oh, and Michael Lively. I wonder if that was a touch.
With a P3.
All right, let's take a look.
All right.
Yeah, he slid right into him. Michael Lively spinning John Newman. I'm saying John Lewis. John Newman.
Yeah. What was Phil saying about last week about John Newman and LMP3s?
That he can't catch a break is what if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Damn, this is going to be fun. Next race in the rain. Oh, rain racing always delivers here.
Oh, boy.
The first race I ever called was in the rain for these guys at Suzuka. That was all right.
We don't talk about Suzuka.
We will have plenty of time to talk about Suzuka on the next race here. Coming soon. Just after.
Go ahead.
Not next week. Week after.
You mentioned rain and track limits, and everyone automatically starts talking about that race at Suzuka. That was nothing but a downpour for 90 minutes.
Yeah. Mark Coyne closing the gap. Yes, he is. We talked about it for a brief moment. We can look at it just a little bit more. Down to 0.8 of a second. Traffic playing a huge help in Scott Fleming's attempt at running away. And Jaden Ledbetter now battling Michael Lively for P3. Getting the inside line here. Michael Lively having a rough time last time through this lap. We'll see. He keeps that car going the right direction, though, thankfully. But Jaden Ledbetter running a little wide there. Michael Lively keeping up with him. These 2 now duking it out for position. Those 5 cars we were talking about just a moment ago, all over the place now because of that crash.
Oh, man. Yeah, there's a hell of a gap between Blue and William Lewis right now.
Yeah, William Lewis, Christopher Blue up to a second and some change. Another second from him to Mark Robeson. And John Newman at the tail end of this now instead of being in between William Lewis and Jameson Leckenby, And David Schneider, lap traffic, also in that mix. So the battle's still there. Those gaps are starting to close again. David Schneider working his way through as well on his own race. Oh no. John Newman keeping it out of the corner of David Schneider.
Oof. Got it. Don't know where I was going to go with that. Oh, he has closed Mark Coyne has closed it down to 0.9 of a second.
Yeah, sitting about 0.9 of a second, trying to get through GT3 traffic, which is always super awkward because the pace differential really isn't that different under high speeds between these two classes. You watch all of them just kind of stay nose to tail pretty much. But the acceleration is where the LMP3 has a better run than the GT3s most of the time, as well as high-speed corners where they have that downforce to work to their advantage. But Mark Coyne getting really stopped up by Bruno Clemente and opening that gap up to 2 seconds to Scott Fleming, who is free of GT3. Well, I said he was free of GT3s. He's now no longer free of GT3s as he has to get around Kyle Potter. So, David Schneider.
Easier said than done.
Well, I mean, if 2 weeks ago, not last week as in the last race, 2 races ago, before our summer break, as it were, that was anything to go by between the battle between Kyle Potter and Retro Coffin. I think it'll be a hard thing for them to worry about. We'll have to see how it plays out. Adam J. Duff trying to get around Kerry Nolan and get back up onto the lead lap. Watching the giant DT3 draft, the tiny LMP3 is comical. Almost got into a fender bender there.
Big time.
Drew Geyer, unfortunately, getting that car turned the wrong direction. Scott Fleming, Mark Coyne, drag race down the front stretch for P1. I'm super curious how this happened. Let me rewind this. I gotta know. Let's do this, and then I'm gonna do this. So he's trying to pass Kyle Potter. Kyle Potter fighting him the whole way through. Does not give him an ounce of space. Scott Fleming locks up trying to avoid Drew Geyer. And that's what brings this drag race down to the start-finish stretch to a head. So, Scott Fleming still trying to get around Kyle Potter. Kyle Potter not willing to abate any. He does not have to. He's racing his own race.
His race was absolutely almost ended there.
Yeah.
Luckily, Geyer held onto his brakes, and Fleming lived to see another corner.
Yeah, Fleming managed to keep that car going the right direction, but race now no longer even remotely secure. And Austin Green up to a second between himself and Drew Geyer. I'm sorry, not Drew Geyer. Bruno Clemente, Drew Geyer right behind him, trying to repass him for actual overall position. That was too close of a call for Fleming. It was super close. But everyone survived. So we don't have to go talk about how this could have ended badly, because it didn't, thankfully. But talk about things not ending badly, thankfully. That almost ended badly. William Lewis, trying not to get run over by Benjamin O'Shea, loses a lot of time and ends up getting passed by Christopher Blue. In GT4AM, these 3 cars now back into a fight with each other. And Kerry Nolan diving into pit lane for his second pit stop. Mike Gallant also in. Tommy Cogan labeled as crashed. I don't know if this is real or not. We'll find out.
That's pretty early for...
I would say, I think...
23 minutes left.
Yeah. Just an unfortunate spin into the hairpin. Gets that car going back the right direction, though. And these 3 duking it out for GT4AM podium spots. William Lewis was on second spot. Now Christopher Blue sits there. I think William Lewis is trying to figure out how he can get that spot back. Both of them about a second and a half behind Jameson Leckenby, who has, despite all of this, came out on top of the GT4AM podium.
He's had an up and down race, that's for sure.
That is very much for sure. Li Wu also diving in for their final pit stop as this race comes to a close, gets into the final stages. It is not closed yet. Jaden Ledbetter setting his personal best this past time by 6 seconds behind Scott Fleming. A second and a half behind Scott Fleming, not 6 seconds. 6 seconds behind him is Michael Lively. And then 6 seconds
David
behind,
Schneider has a black flag.
David Schneider having another unfortunate off track there and a black flag as a result. But I say I am very proud of him for sticking this race out. It is something we do see, I think, about 1 to 2 per race. We've been seeing less, which I'm super stoked about, of drivers who find themselves a little ways down the order. Oh, Christopher Blue having a pretty rough exit there. William Lewis using that Porsche corner exit power. That's what I'm going to call it, I guess. Christopher Blue going for the defensive line before coming back over. Get used to traffic. Yeah, it's very good. It's also just good practice in general. More seat time is always good.
Right. And a lot of the guys here have been with the group for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So we're all used to racing with each other on a regular basis. So makes for some pretty good, clean racing.
Ooh, Nathaniel Redmond from the lead of GT4 Pro diving in to get his final pit stop done. David Schneider also back in to serve that penalty. John Newman just coming out of the pit lane as well for his second stop. 11 seconds on the jacks for both him and Mike Gallant, who's come in early for his final pit stop.
Fuel only.
Long. Gene Cardoso also in for his second pit stop. See how long they're on the jacks, respectively. I'm going to guess it's going to be pretty quick for most of these drivers. Kyle Potter, labeled as crashed. Just hanging out. We're looking on board with Mark Robeson and his fantastic viewpoint of the battle for the GT3 or GT4M podium spots. See what happened to Kyle Potter here. P2 currently, or he was prior to this. He's now in third.
Self-spin.
Oh, yeah, I have to imagine. Yep.
Yeah.
Self-spin. Pretty cool drift if it was for style points, but unfortunately... He caught it before it got too far out of hand, which got some kind of intersect Austin Green and Bruno Clemente now. But Austin Green getting not really driving. Technically, for overall position, Drew Guy are trying to get past Austin Green without issue. Scott Fleming and Jaden Ledbetter. Jaden Ledbetter closing the gap to Scott Fleming. Scott Fleming getting caught by traffic, which means that he has a 3-second gap to Mark Coyne now. Oh, how the turns have tabled. I think is the correct.
That is
not
the
boomer,
correct.
but what's the opposite of boomer? Gen Alpha.
Millennial.
Yeah, well, I was thinking more Gen Alpha, but yes.
Well, millennials are raising Gen A, so.
I'd say you're one of those, right?
I am a millennial raising 2 Gen A's, yeah.
Oh. I'm in the weird in-between of millennial and Gen Z. I don't. It's gonna be a weird time if I have kids.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, my little brother is in that boat as well, if he ever has kids.
Scott Fleming catching a big moment there, keeping that car going in the right direction. Jaden Ledbetter closing that gap, though, as a result. Oh. Riding on board. We're following along. We weren't really riding on board. But I want to see now, because I have to... well, I would say it's very possible. Right on the hull, Jaden Ledbetter is on the hunt. We can see from the rear end of Scott Fleming. Get a good view of the dorsal fin. I believe that's what they call that.
Locking up a little bit going into that turn.
Scott is giving it, in the words of a different Scott, right?
Giving it all she's got, Captain.
Yeah, exactly. That's the word. Those are the lines. Scotty. All right. There's a Y at the end of that. It's close enough. Embodying his inner Scotty to keep that car ahead of Jaden Ledbetter. Jaden Ledbetter desperately trying to get by. Rest of the grid pretty spread out. You can see those margins between all these drivers. 13 seconds between Retro Koff and Bruno Clemente. We have 20 minutes left, a little under. So the final pit stops, we'll see them continue to trickle in from now until the end of the race. Take a quick moment.
We still have Tanner Schiffner's on 10 laps. Garcia's on 14 laps. And those are the top two in GT4. Retro's going to be in here shortly. He's got 13 laps, and same with Bruno. So they're going to be on the same schedule. Mark Coyne's on 16 laps. Mark Coyne's on 16 laps.
Yeah. He boxed really early, and he has now run this car as far as it will take him. And he is 5 seconds ahead of Scott Fleming, who is trying to get around Retro Coffin to finally lap the GT3 field. Has finally been lapped. It has taken us most of the race to lap the GT3 field. Scott Fleming diving in for his final pit stop. Christopher Blue, William Lewis, I believe we also have Jamison Leckenby. All three of these for the top 3 podium spots have all closed down. Bunch of new follows. Thank you all of you lovely people who have done so.
Hooray!
It's greatly appreciated. If you are new and you want to be a part of this action, check us out on Discord. We'll do one more plug at the end of this before we get too far away from ourselves. But that is the easiest way to get in on it if you are looking for multi-class Saturday, feature race, pit stop strategy racing. Yeah, perfect. Thank you. These three, all three of our podium sitters for GT4M, all within a second of each other, and only a second and a half separating all of them at this point. Mark Coyne getting in between all of them, though. William Lewis, unfortunately, the odd man out. Christopher Blue trying not to run into Mark Coyne, who has gotten around both him and Jamison Leckenby. Gian Cardoso labeled as crashed. Oh, oh gosh, big moment for Jamison, but he keeps that car going the right direction. Chris Blue lunging up the inside. That's got to be a touch. All three of them go flying out wide. And Chris Blue wanting to give that position back. William Lewis finding the opportunity there to pass both of them. Chris Blue. Jake Hewitt in the middle of all of this, trying to find his way through for GT4 Pro spots. And yeah,
Retro's coming up behind all of them.
Non-Retro Coffin also joining this party. As soon as Chris Turner says that they're usually pretty clean. What are you gonna say? Sorry.
Everything happening all the time.
Everything happening all the time. That is, I think, a big motto for this this stream. Shane Ledbetter getting past Scott Fleming because of traffic. But these two now going door to door. Both of them come in for the second pit stops. They've come back out into the fight they were before the pit cycle. This now technically going to be for P2, I believe, overall, once Mark and Michael Lively dive into the pit lane for their respective final pit stops, which have to happen pretty soon. We are 56 minutes of an hour and 10 feature race.
Drew Geyer is black flagged.
Oh, incident limit, I'm guessing, for Drew Geyer, or is that a... No, it definitely is a... So we'll have to see here. It's Jane Ledbetter getting a second ahead of Scott Fleming. We'll have to see how all that plays out between GT4 AM and GT4 Pro. It is usually the driver's capabilities, iRating, or just how fast they are in relative speed to the field, is the big difference. They are the same machinery. They get scored together as one class, but your points go to whatever championship you're part of. So if you get a really good finish, even though you're GT4 AM, you get a lot of points for your championship. Whereas if you're GT4 Pro, but you get finish around the GT4 AM, it's all that. But yes, usually pace awareness, your iRating is usually the basis that it gets initially judged off of, and then you can then get adjusted as needed. As you become a better or worse driver, you can get reevaluated there. Like if I went and rejoined now, I probably would end up in GT4. I want to say AM. I'm kind of in this border. I bet I would be in the kind of the borderline between AM and Pro. I don't know.
I would still be an AM.
depends on the day. They're regularly mixed together. It is a pretty fine line. That is the big difference. Anthony Newman getting passed by Adam J. Duff for overall position.
Oh, we got Kyle Potter around. Scott Flack may have been.
Oh! That looked rough. Kyle Potter being marked as going off track, gets loose there, and then just bumps into.
Oh, that is so unfortunate.
That is an unfortunate time to be at the right place at the wrong time. Or the wrong place at the right time, I think is actually probably the more accurate thing. Mark Coyne from the lead of the race, diving into pit lane for his final stop. It was 5 seconds on the jacks for most of the LMP3 field. And he is in there.
He's 10 seconds and still he's
12
black flagged.
seconds.
He's black flagged.
Oh, no. Did he speed in pit lane? Oh, a heartbreak at the end of the race for Mark Coyne as he has to serve a black flag. I'm going to guess for speeding under pit lane. Mark with the throw. Yeah, I don't think it was intentional. So, Michael Lively still has yet to pit from the new lead of the race. Jaden Ledbetter, Scott Fleming, now in a heated battle unless Michael Lively can successfully pull off the one stop. I just talked about not happening. Bruno Clemente and Scott Fleming. Scott Fleming having a really hard time trying to get around lapped traffic. GT4M with the Aston sweep. It's possible.
Oh, that would be a feather in Jay's cap.
I'm sure.
It's not Mercedes. Not Mercedes.
Jamison Leckenby has yet to pit from the lead of GT4M.
Same with Zamora has. Oh, he's got 8 laps on. So
Zamora has pitted.
Pit.
Yeah, Jamison Leckenby, Rodrigo Souza are GT4M drivers that have yet to pit. GT4 Pro drivers that have yet to pit, I believe, is just Tanner Schiffner at this point, who's out in the lead, 12 seconds ahead of Nathaniel Redmond. Henry Garcia and Henry Garcia and Corey Lobner in a heated battle. Corey Lobner getting a terrible exit, unfortunately, though, and Jaden trying to figure out how to get around both of them. I'm sure we're going to get in first. Missed it. It is entirely pit cycle. Tanner Schiffner is just the one last GT4 Pro who is not boxed. That is how Tanner ended up in first. For the moment.
15 laps on. He should be darn close. Only 9 minutes left to go. We'll see.
GT3, GT4, LMP3. All of them trying to get around each other. Mark Robeson has been listed as crashed. What happened, Mark? Where are you? Where can I find you? All right, Mark Robeson. He has been listed as... What happened? Did he... Oh. Not sure what's happening here. Let's find out. Oh, just cooks it into the final corner.
There it is.
Doesn't really crash. Just cooks it. Kyle Potter in to serve a drive-through penalty, I'm guessing. Does that look right?
He was not in there long. He was only in there 20 seconds. Yeah, that would drive.
Didn't seem like he could have boxed, sorry.
No, he did not box. He did not touch his box. He was in and out.
Okay. Because the Anthony Newman, 49 seconds. MJ Duff, 26. I don't know. Retro Coffin, Bruno Clemente in to their pit boxes. And
Michael Lively has a black flag.
Oh, Michael Lively. Also, was he speeding? Is it another pit lane speeding violation?
Looks like it was drive-through for 20.4, so he just drove through the pits. That's it.
Oh, he served a drive-through. Oh, man. So, Michael Lively still has to pit for, well, at least presumably. We have 8 minutes left. Mark Coyne, listed as crashed. He has spun out on the final corner, kept it out of the wall.
We got a lot of people.
Fastest lap of the race with a 134.18.
The whole LMP3 field has just been flipped on its behind.
It certainly
in
has.
the past 2 laps.
Jaden Ledbetter, who was fourth 20 minutes ago, now leads the LMP3 field 4 seconds ahead of Scott Fleming, who is just setting 2 seconds a lap faster than Scott Fleming. I think also getting very lucky with some traffic, which has really helped out. Michael Lively still in the podium spots, was originally slotted to be P1 until the pit cycle, but then had to serve a drive-through for, I believe, an incident limit would be my guess. Tanner Schiffner finally in for his final pit stop, and that puts Nathaniel Redmond back into the lead of GT4 Pro. But it's a short stop for Tanner Schiffner that puts him out in P3, right behind Lee Wu, which I think is a battle we saw happening on track a little while ago, but now got resolved in the pit lane. Bruno Clemente trying to not get caught by Tommy Kogan here at the closing stages for the second and third spots on the podium. Kyle Potter trying to work his way around Anthony Newman after that unfortunate drive-through. I'm going to say the drive-through penalty because he's not. 35 seconds is roughly the travel time for drivers who are there, and then he's just hounded Anthony Newman trying to get around him.
He is pushing it.
Yeah. The bag fact title belongs to Michael. It's possible. It is very possible. We'll have to see. Anthony Newman putting up a great drive here to try to keep Kyle Potter behind him. I don't know. Does Kyle Potter have to pit still? Oh my gosh. Benjamin O'Shea getting roughed out by Kyle. I'd say roughed out by Kyle Potter. Definitely looked like that was a little bit rough. He is flashing Anthony Newman. But we have an upset Kyle Potter on our hands.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah. Benjamin O'Shea also trying to get around there. Oh, and there is I don't know if that was a hit from Anthony Newman, but that definitely looked like there was contact.
That was getting pushed.
Yeah.
There was absolutely contact there.
Let's see if we can hit on board here. Yeah. Oh, unfortunately, just a little bit of contact as Anthony tries to go to the racing line, and Kyle Potter is unfortunately right where he's trying to be. Yeah. And
yeah, it is on the BMW.
Unfortunately, it is on the BMW. We'll have to take a see what the penalty review. I don't know, the understeer. Yeah, I don't think he intended to be there. It's just the racing line and taking the fastest way through does lead him back to that corner, and I just don't think he was expecting Kyle to be there when he was trying to go there. But Tommy Kogan, Bruno Clemente duking it out for the other two spots on the podium. Tyler Tourville and Tanner Schiffner also, I believe, duking it out for the bottom spots of the podium in GT4 Pro. Jameson Leckenby finally getting into the pit lane from the lead of the race. Narrowly avoiding that cone to make sure he was in the right spot.
I hope he's not speeding, because that would ruin his race real quick.
I don't know that it was a bad move. It's going to be something that we'll see let the stewards decide on. Tires? I don't know that it was intentionally tires. It looks like there was tires. Interesting.
He's still on the jack, so yeah, definitely tires.
Yeah. Lifted the car. Yeah. Many upsets in this race. Kyle Potter once again trying to get back up and around Anthony Newman. Tyler Tourville closing or trying to keep up the pace to Tanner Schiffner in the closing stages. Tanner Tourville, I believe, is a P2 leader. Oh my gosh. Gian Cardoso now on the podium trying to get around him without getting into contact. Manages to do so only barely. 3 minutes as we are an hour and 7 minutes into this race.
Everything, everywhere, all the time.
Yes. Can Rosen hold off the BMW? I think it's possible. We'll have to see. Christopher Blue and Mark Robeson in GT4 AM duking it out. As it is no longer a shutout podium of Aston Martins due to the final pit stop for Jamison Leckenby, which we kind of saw coming. At least I believe we did. I did, at least. We're watching these two once again.
See if
Let's see how this plays out. We've been here before.
Yeah.
Kyle Potter all over the rear end of that BMW. BMW taking its line. And they go into turn number 1. Off track for Kyle Potter as he tries to not run into that GT4 in front of both of them. And
nice catch by Tony. He almost lost that rear end.
Yeah, Anthony Newman catching that rear end and keeping that car going in the right direction. I mean,
Potter is watching license points right now. Or at least he should be watching license.
We'll have to see. Tyler Trueville. Oh, David Schneider, unfortunately, getting caught up in the middle of this. A loose rear end for Anthony Newman leads to a 3-wide drag race down to turn number 9. Anthony pushing him real close. Late on the brakes for Anthony. Up in the inside, Kyle Potter. Up over that.
Oof.
Still too wide for these two as they go into turns number 10 and 11. It was an incident. It was. Still too wide. And they're continuing too wide throughout all of this. Tyler Turville, Tanner Schiffner also getting into it. Yeah.
They were
See what
touching.
happens. Corey Lobner getting through that. Netcode God's being kind, yeah. And they're both... Oh, Kyle Potter spins. Does he have... I'll have to see if he has contact there. I want to take a look on board with Kyle Potter. No. Oh, that's a weird... That's... I don't know if he got net-coded. That was
get
really
back
weird.
on with Corey. We have white flag going right now.
All right. Checker flag. Hey, while we've been watching this battle for these positions, Jaden Ledbetter having a fantastic run brings home the win.
How many wins is that now for Jaden?
I think that is his second of the season. Scott Fleming coming on P2. Gian Cardoso rounding out the podium with P3. A fantastic result for Gian, especially after the race there. Mark Coyne coming home P4. Sorry, Mark Coyne coming home P5. GT3 battle there. Very fantastic. Tommy Kogan, Bruno Clemente, 3 seconds away from each other. Retro Coffin coming home to bring home a GT3 win. And a 2-second gap between Bruno Clemente and Tommy Kogan. And meanwhile, Nathaniel Redmond, one of our final drivers here, finishing theoretically a lap ahead, I believe. Or finishing ahead of Lee Wu. Tyler Turville getting around Tanner Schiffner at the end of this race. And the GT4M podium still being decided as Eduardo Zamora and Mark Robeson still have yet to come across the start-finish line. Jake Hewitt trying to see if he can improve one final spot, potentially, depending on how it goes. Anthony Newman as well coming across these two final corners. See if it's a drag race between the Porsche as well as the Aston Martin of Eduardo Zamora. He will hold off Jake Hewitt for overall GT4 points. Take home that GT4 AM win. Leon P3 later must have caught Blue before the line and not Robeson because Blue is done in it. Yes, yep, that is exactly why that is the way it is. Did I put in chips on Lively ever again? Well, I think up until the black flag, it would have been fine.
Right. He was running a hell of a race until he wasn't.
It was a fantastic fuel saving strategy from Michael Lively up until the pit cycle. I need a cigarette. I don't even smoke. Yeah, well, I do as well. Let's go through your results for the feature race. We're going to start in the LMP3s. We're going to go through the GT3s, GT4 Pro, and M in that order. We're going to watch Jaden Ledbetter burn it down as he takes home that win. Scott Fleming coming home 4 seconds behind him in P2. Gian Cardoso 20 seconds behind in P3. Rounding out that podium, Michael Lively, Mark Coyne, both drivers that were in P1 at one point, but fell out for one reason or another in P4 and P5, respectively. Benjamin O'Shea, Adam J. Duff, and Drew Geyer round out your 8 drivers that take home the checkered flag for LMP3. Logan, GT3, how's it going?
GT3s, we have Retro Coffin with the win, followed by Bruno Clemente, Porsche top 2.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy Kogan in P2, Austin Green in P4. I don't know what I did there. Anthony Newman in P5, Kyle Potter in P6, Stephen McLean, Kerry Nolan, Brandon Potts round out the GT3s.
Awesome. GT4 Pros, kind of I think the people we talked about the least this race, but definitely had their own battles floating around. We just didn't get a whole lot of time because there's everything else happening. Nathaniel Redmond taking home the win. Lee Wu 10 seconds behind in P2. Tyler Tourville in P3, a late race pass over Tanner Schiffner for that position on the podium. For P3 and P4 respectively, Henry Garcia rounding out your top 5. Corey Lobner, Jay Hewitt, Mike Gallant, and David Coulson round out your 9 drivers that take home the checkered flag, 8 of which actually see that one. I believe David Coulson didn't take to the start of this. So, last, certainly not least, GT4AM. Logan, how they do?
All right, we have Eduardo Zamora. Damn it, of course I got it wrong on the last one. With the win, Mark Robeson second, Christopher Blue in third, John Newman in fourth, Jameson Leckaby in fifth, William Lewis sixth, Rodrigo Souza in seventh, and David Schneider rounds out the end.
All of those drivers take home the checkered flag. We had, I believe, a total of 2 that did not see the checkered flag, and that was Brandon Potts, David Coulson. Otherwise, all of them made it from start to finish. First to 2 wins this season. Yes, you are, Jaden. A fantastic result.
Good race, Jay.
And good, fantastic racing. Consistency seems to be the name of the game. So, with that, we wrap up tonight. Who can we raid? Who do we raid? We could raid somebody. Let's raid MX5 all day. And while I'm working on that, Logan, you want to do the spiel about the Discord one last time for all the people who checked out earlier?
Or if y'all want to join us up, we have a Discord set up. That's where you can sign up and become part of the community. If you do !point Discord, that'll bring you up the link. Click on it. We have a waiting list, and as soon as there's a spot open for you, we'll try to get.
That is the case. We're gonna raid MX5 all day because I believe they're doing obviously some MX5s.
Love MX5s.
Yes. Thank you all very much for watching. We will see you all in 2 weekends' time, I believe, for the 5th round. It'll be in the rain. Where are we going, Logan?
Oh, crap. Where are we going?
I was hoping you would know. Oh, well, if you aren't one of us and you can pull up this thing, I got it. The places that we're going to next week is going to be Fuji. It's going to be raining in Fuji. We're going to have another Japanese track in the rain. I think Logan just has a very specific desire to do Fuji rain or wet Japanese track races.
No, I don't.
Well, Logan, on the bright side, you're only in the booth this time, which means you don't have to experience it outside of watching all the other cars and getting secondhand, anxiety
PTSD.
about things. I'll be in Arizona baking in the heat. Oh, that is, I think, a far better option. But we will miss you on the track, John Newman.
Damn, John.
You're gonna miss. I don't know that you're actually gonna miss Fuji Wet. I don't know that I'm gonna miss Fuji Wet.
We're gonna be here.
I say it, I'm gonna be here. Sweet. Raid is kicking off. Thank you all very much. We will see you all in 2 weekends' time, August 9th, for Fuji in the Wet. Have a good evening, everyone. Stay safe out there. And enjoy, I guess. Yeah, enjoy.
Have a good night, folks.
And bam. We are out.
Sweet. Sweet, sweet. Good stream, man.
We got there.
I was young.